inside of me. You better watch out if your enemy's a road ahead of full prophecy. To be the greatest beast the world has ever seen. I feed him every day like the bones clean. I feed him all the hate and he grows me. And he gets claws real big, gets off quick. And if you cross him, you might drop dead. Metaphorically, of course, settling the score. Never getting bored, loves of blood and gold. Always wanting more freedom from the source. They don't really listen until they feel the force of party. And if you start shit, you be heartless in the darkness. Torn apart quick, you left scars ripped. You be chewed up and discarded.
And this world ain't right, won't accept it. Negative energy, I expect it. Once it's in your mind, it's infectious. So fight for your life and reject it. You better give me space, I'm protective. My adrenaline spikes when I'm threatened. And if you stay in my way, I'm aggressive. Cause when there's no exit, I'll kill when I'm desperate. When there's no exit, I'll kill when I'm desperate. Negative energy, I expect it. Once it's in your mind, it's infectious. So fight for your life and reject it. You better give me space, I'm protective. My adrenaline spikes when I'm threatened. And if you stay in my way, I'm aggressive. Cause when there's no exit, I'll kill when I'm desperate. There's no exit, I'll kill when I'm desperate.
I work blind, got vision I don't need to see. I'm picking mind over matter, I believe in me. I need to find more hours in the day to breathe. Need to find more power in the way I be. And when my mind
manifested. I'm my own worst enemy, only if I let it be. I can control anything if I can just think carefully. I control my destiny. Deep up in my mind I manifest it. Every morning I wake up obsessed, and everything I do the best. And deep within my mind, you know I'll always manifest it.
Hello and welcome to My Mind Over Your Matter. My name is Rick, and let's get this show started. Oh my goodness. It's snowing. Yes, it is snowing right now. We got a big winter storm that is hitting the Northeast at this moment. It just started about half an hour ago, I would say. More like 45 minutes ago. It just started coming down really hard, and there's about an inch on the cars right now. I'm going to be monitoring it. We're supposed to get at least between 6 to 8 inches, 6 or 8 inches, maybe more. Who knows? Until the snow ends tomorrow morning, we'll know for sure. I'll go outside with my tape measure and measure how much snow has fallen. It's beautiful. What you just saw in the beginning here was just a tease of what's to come here. And what you saw in the beginning too with the train, it's a little something that I did today. I went up to Northwest Connecticut to visit Terry and Kayla, and we had a great time. We ate some pizza, we ate some chicken wings, and we had good conversations. And I picked up my Pokemon cards. I am so happy because I got them all right here next to me, which I'm going to be opening them up, but like one at a time. And I'm going to be recording it and putting it on YouTube. So that way I could get some more views, because it seems like people really love Pokemon, and that really attracts viewers. And holy smokes, yesterday I put up a video on my shorts, and I got over 2,000 views. I was like, shit, I wish I had 2,000 people watching me right now. But I had a pretty good successfulness with putting this Pokemon on my shorts. So I'm going to put some more in my shorts. I'm going to put a lot more in my shorts. And I hope you guys enjoy it, watching it. And hopefully I get some big hits. If it's not for me, it's going to be for my niece. Because everything I get, she's going to inherit it. So I want to get some big pulls for her. But it was fun meeting Terry and Kayla, and the pizza was great. Oh my God, the food was great. The journey to get there was beautiful. It was so relaxing. I had a great drive. It was so nice, and can't wait to do it again. Hopefully, when it's warmer, because it was cold up there. You really felt the cold. I was like, man, it doesn't feel like this where I live. Not like that, but hey, that's Connecticut for you guys. Let's see who's in the chat here. Hey, what's up, Albie? Terry, what's up? Awesome opener, Rick. Thank you. Yeah, at least we have a memory that's going to be recorded on the show because I went to go see Terry, and the image of where we ate is right in the picture, and it will be always forever on the YouTube memories and here on my show. And thank you for the great company. It was really fun. That's exactly what it looks like outside right now. I had to move my car into the visitor parking. Yeah, it's coming down. It's coming down like super hard with the snowfall. It's to the point that it's kind of like whiteout. You can't really see from a distance. Like it's so much snow all over, and it's a wet snow. So this is a great snow for snowball fights. Tomorrow morning, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to go sledding. A lot of people are going to go skiing. A lot of people are going to have fun tomorrow because it's the weekend. We made it to the weekend, the day after Christmas. Ah, what a week, right? Snow really, and you see how I feel? I feel good. That's because it's snow. Snow doesn't hurt me as much as rain. I hate freaking rain. Rain always tortures me. But snow, oh, I love it. My body, I don't feel nothing. Look, I don't feel like that much pain in my neck. I do feel a little pain, but not like usual with the rainstorms that have been happening. So I'm pretty happy. I am delighted, and we're going to be watching some news reports on this weather storm that winter storm that's happening. It's weird because Connecticut, we have a different name system than the National Weather Service. So the storm name for Connecticut is Abraham. I don't know why they went for a Jewish name. I don't know if it's all going to be Jewish names. I don't know. Connecticut is weird as hell. And the National Weather Service is calling this storm Devin. So it's Winter Storm Abraham / Devin. It's just so weird. Connecticut, why you can't just be national, everybody, and just use the same fucking name? Why you got to change the names up? I don't get it. Good thing you beat the snow. Yes, I timed this perfect, Terry. Like literally to like an hour. I got here just in time. Like an hour. I had an hour and 30 minutes to spare before the snow came down, and good thing I got here. I'm very ecstatic and very pumped for tonight. Um, the visibility up here is horrible. Yeah, I mean I've been monitoring it here. I'll be monitoring it, but let's go ahead and jump right to the news so that we can see what's going on with the weather. So let's just jump right on here and let's get this started.
We are back here on Weather Command. More than 60 million people bracing for a post-Christmas winter storm. New York City is bracing for a pretty good
I
snow
wanted
and
this for
heading into the
Christmas.
final weekend of
I got my Christmas
2025.
gift.
Some
A
saying
little late,
it's about
but it's
time.
okay.
Anytime the nation's largest city has plowable snow in the forecast, though,
Got my
disruptions,
snow.
they
I got
are all
my
but a
snow.
guarantee.
I
So
got
how
my
much snow could we
snow.
see? I think it's
I'm
reasonable
so
to
happy.
say maybe around a half a foot. A
Snow
range of
makes
about
me
5 to 8
happy.
inches is what we're calling for. And for more on this, the city of New York is preparing ahead of the storm.
Shit,
Zach
we're
Engel, Commissioner
anticipating
for New York
maybe 10
City
inches
Emergency
here.
Management, joins us in studio. Zach, thanks for
They say
joining us.
6 to 8, but
It's
I think
already
it might
a
be
pretty
like
busy
more.
period of the
I live
year
in the valley.
between Christmas and New Year. Now we've got this winter storm, and it very well could be one of the largest snows of the season. You guys remember how to prepare for this thing. What's going on in
some chocolate milk.
Department starts prepping their
Hot
equipment.
chocolate.
We start purchasing salt and
Oh,
brine and all
and
of
it's
the
fog outside.
stuff that we need. Storms. So work that goes into this, and then days in advance of this particular snowstorm, we start working very closely with the National Weather Service, all of our 80 partners, to really start preparing the city for this event.
When it comes to a system like this, there's been a lot of talk, and
yeah, it's falling an inch an hour.
Very
easy.
well, it could be in the zone where we see the highest snow totals. Maybe into the lower Hudson Valley, maybe into Connecticut, where we get closer to a foot. But there will be some warm air
give me a foot here.
Is there a wrinkle in that forecast as far as
I'll
how
take
you guys
8 inches, but not a foot.
Because what
Holy
if we
shit!
Get some ice into New York City? That would change.
Let me check
a
outside.
little bit.
So every single weather event is different in how you prepare for it, in terms of the implications and the potential impacts of that, right? A snowstorm in the middle of the holiday season on a weekend is very different than when school is in session, right? And if you have, based on, rising temperatures, freezing temperatures, you might have to contend with ice the following day. So you really have to do a real analysis. But at the end of the day, we are always preparing for the worst case scenario, which is what we're doing now, right? And so we'll have salt spreaders out on the streets today. We will start plowing as soon as we reach plowable depths of over 2 inches of snow. We have emergency crews on standby, tow trucks around the city, and then doing a lot of messaging, urging New Yorkers to do their part as well, to stay off the roads, monitor the forecast, and help out their neighbors who might need some help.
There has been one thing not lacking in the city this season. I'll say December. It's been cold air. We have had a lot of it, especially at the beginning of the month, and there's been a bit of a reprieve through the middle part of the month. But now with the return to this cold air, I think there's questions. Will this snow stick around? I think with the storm that we're going to get Sunday, a lot of it's going to melt. But I would imagine that when you look at a total snow totals from a storm like this, 6-7 inches could maybe stick around for a while. I mean, how do you plow those roads in the city where everyone's parked on the sides? I mean, there's got to be some mandatory.
No, they have the parking bans already.
Right?
So again, that's one of the things you have to contend with. You can suspend alternate side parking. We can suspend trash pickup. Again, a weekend storm has some less implications for some of those big decisions that we need to make during other periods of the week or other periods of the year. But certainly something that we need to contend with. And I think you're right. We will see what happens in the days afterwards with temperatures, potential rain, and how long this snow sticks around.
With the onset, we are looking at, just a few hours away. So we can't thank you enough again for coming in studio, because we're a few hours away from it happening.
It is happening right now.
Some concerns. That's something that you guys have been watching.
I think that's a big concern for tonight. It's a holiday weekend. Really hoping and asking people to travel early, right? And we could start to see flurries earlier. We're expecting probably around 5-6 p.m. The heaviest starting around 7. But people need to monitor the forecast, and if you can travel home early, please do that.
Started at 7:20 here.
Area. And so folks that are commuting home, you want to make sure you're home by the time these snow flurries really start.
And you had mentioned that the trucks were already out there. Yesterday, we talked to the sanitation department, and they were talking about how picking up even trees, which is a thing this time of year. Those same workers are the ones that are plowing the streets. So a little bit of patience goes a long way. And I think the biggest piece of advice to drive home, we hear it a lot when there's snow. Stay home if you can.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is if you see a city worker, especially a sanitation worker, in the next couple of days, thank them. We have so many folks from across the city that were working yesterday on Christmas. A lot of families were unwrapping presents with their families. They were out working, preparing their trucks, loading up with salt. We had others that were, preparing the city at our agency. A lot goes into this, and we really have a huge debt of gratitude to the men and women who make it happen.
No doubt about it, as you had mentioned, to underscore this time of year too, when a lot of people are with families. Well, we appreciate your time this morning joining us in studio. Of course, we'll be watching this system. Zach Iskel, Commissioner for New York City Emergency Management. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, thanks, Stephen. Always great to be with you.
All right,
let's keep it moving.
Mayor Eric Adams about to give the update on the weather situation with the big snowstorm coming. Let's listen in.
With freezing temperatures expected throughout the weekend, the safety of all New Yorkers remains our top priority. To share more details about the forecast and how we are preparing, I will turn it over to Mayor Eric Adams.
Thanks so much, Camille.
But I'm happy I went up there to visit you, Terry and Kayla.
right after Christmas.
You guys are
And,
amazing.
as New
You
Yorkers
guys are really
continue
good
to
company. I
celebrate
can't
the
wait
holiday
to
with
spend
loved
more
ones,
time with
we're
you guys in the
expecting,
future.
as the chief of staff
And we could go
indicated,
to
a significant
Camp Falls
snow
together
event
in
beginning
the
this
summertime.
afternoon. And we want to really thank our news stations for broadcasting throughout the entire day. And we have been
It looks like a
monitoring
snow
this
globe
storm for
outside.
several days and
No
keeping New
kidding.
Yorkers updated.
It's
But we want to make
amazing
sure,
how
as
snowfall
we
is
get
coming
new
down.
information, that we give the most updated information as possible. The
Let's see how
National
much
Weather
is falling.
Service has issued a weather storm warning for New York City from 4 p.m. today through 1 p.m. Saturday. And current forecasts still indicate a range of
An
6
inch
to
an
9
hour right now.
inches of snow citywide. As we indicated earlier, this afternoon, we want New Yorkers to be prepared. The most recent update we got said we could see snowfall as much as 11 inches in northeast Queens and northern New York City. So we wanted
That's
to
a lot
make
of snow
sure
for
that
Queens.
those New Yorkers are aware. This city could potentially see the highest snow we have had in 3 years.
Wow.
The heaviest accumulation is likely to occur overnight. The snow and cold can result in widespread travel disruptions due to hazardous road conditions. We expect slick roads this afternoon and evening. We know many New Yorkers may be traveling for the holidays, so we want to ask them
whoever's
to
up here
limit
for the
travel on
holidays
our
is
roads
screwed.
during this
If you have
time.
a flight,
If you
you're
must travel,
screwed.
use public transportation. And I want to be
If
clear,
you have a flight
the
tonight,
city is ready. DSNY,
even tomorrow is
NYSM,
going to be a headache
FDNY,
to be flying.
NYPD, and DOT, and all our agencies have been working around the clock preparing for this winter weather system. Salt spreading operations are already underway, and our plows are ready to clean up every street in every neighborhood as needed. Additionally, our team at the Department of Sanitation has the equipment and the personnel to clear lanes and bike lanes at the same time. We have extra staff on duty to help with the anticipated snowfall and cold conditions. And remember, cold temperatures could be dangerous, so a code blue has been issued for unsheltered New Yorkers. If you see someone in need of shelter, please call 311. If you go outside, wear warm clothing to enjoy the outdoors, and be careful when walking on sidewalks as they may be slippery. And call 311 if you need assistance for heating or pipe freezing. Don't use your oven to heat your apartment or leave candles and space heaters unattended. We are urging New Yorkers to turn off holiday decorations when away from home or sleeping. And as always, notify NYC. The forecast could change, and we will be ready to update New Yorkers, and I know New Yorkers will be ready too. Bundle up, stay warm, stay safe, and enjoy the remaining holiday and Happy New Year's.
Thank you, Mayor. We'd now like to have Commissioner Iscol come up and give us some more information.
You work the weekend? Nice. Let me know if they have more Pokemon. I'm gonna try to build a
Thank you,
master
Camille. Thank you,
set.
Mr. Mayor. I was joking with my
I
amazing
gotta
first
buy a
deputy
binder.
commissioner at Emergency Management, Christina Farrell, earlier this week, that in the last 4 years we've dealt with
I'm gonna try to build a deck,
every type of climate emergency,
binder.
Mr. Mayor, but really haven't had a major snowstorm yet. So, God is not done with us yet. But we've been through it all, and we've got a great amount of snow coming this evening. So, Mr. Mayor, thank you. I also really want to start by thanking our city workers, especially from sanitation, our healthcare and utility partners, emergency managers, transit workers, and first responders, and most importantly, their families. Yesterday was Christmas, and while many New Yorkers were home with their families celebrating, thousands of city workers were out preparing for this storm so that the rest of us can be safe. So big thank you to those city workers and to their families for sharing them with us. National Weather Service, as the mayor said, has issued a winter storm warning for today from 1600 to tomorrow, Saturday at 1 p.m. This is the most significant snowfall New York City has seen in years, and we're encouraging all New Yorkers to take it seriously. Our team began preparing for this event a few days ago in close coordination with the National Weather Service, City Hall, and our state, federal, and local partners. We have issued at Emergency Management a travel advisory from this evening into tomorrow morning, and we have activated our city's winter weather emergency plan. We're expecting 6 to 9 inches of snow citywide, with some neighborhoods possibly seeing even more based on where the snow bands line up this evening. Rates could exceed 2 inches per hour. Cold temperatures will lead to icy conditions on roads and sidewalks. Roads are being pre-treated now, and plows will be ready to deploy as soon as we hit 2 inches of snow or plowable depths. If you don't need to travel this evening, please stay off the roads to keep yourself safe and to allow our emergency crews and plowed trucks to do the work that they need to do. At New York City Emergency Management, we have increased staffing at Watch Command. We will be issuing citywide impact summaries to our partner agencies. We've also activated a virtual EOC activation via open line with our operational agency partners to be able to respond quickly to any issues that arise around the city. Our team has been messaging very proactively to all elected officials, hospitals, places of worship, in addition to our community partners and advanced warning system, AWS system partners. Those are the partners that serve our elderly and most vulnerable New Yorkers, people with disabilities and functional needs. In addition to DSNY snow operations, we'll have additional FDNY, NYPD staffing deployed around the city. DOT has been taking care of our bridges and tunnels, and our tow truck task force is deployed around the city to address any stuck vehicles or vehicles blocking snow operations. As the mayor said, our Department of Social Service has issued an enhanced code blue to take care of our most vulnerable homeless New Yorkers. If you see someone in need of help, please call 311, or if it's an emergency, call 911. But all of the city's preparation only works if the city takes this, if New Yorkers take this seriously as well. So if you don't need to travel this Friday night or early Saturday, please stay off the roads. Knowing is half the battle. The mayor gave a lot of tips for what we need to do to keep ourselves safe. If you want to know some additional tips for this type of weather event or other types of extreme weather, please go to nyc.gov/be ready. And as always, please sign up for Notify NYC at nyc.gov/Notify NYC, or by downloading the app or by calling 311. Please be safe, take care of each other, and look out for our most vulnerable. Thank you.
Yeah, take care of the elders.
Thank you, Commissioner. We'd now like to have Acting DSNY Commissioner Lojan come up and give us some brief operational updates.
Thank you, Mayor Adams and Commissioner Skull. Thank you for bringing us together this afternoon. The Department of Sanitation prepares for snow year-round, and in my 26 years with the Strongest, we have never been more ready for snow than we are today. New technology, new training, new equipment implemented over the last few years has that it doesn't snow in New York City anymore. You wake up and it's already gone. But let me assure you, it snows, and it will snow tonight as you see it snowing now. No tech or vehicle is a substitute for the best snow fighting tool we have, the 10,000 men and women of DSNY. And as the lead agency responsible for snow removal, we begin applying liquid brine to highways, roadways, and bike lanes at midnight last night to prevent accumulation and prevent bonding.
That's a big
job. Christmas ended, thousands of our people were on the job. More than 700 salt spreaders are loaded and ready to go as the first flakes fall. When we record the depths of 2 inches, our plows will begin to roll, and this may happen as soon as 8 p.m. tonight. Thousands of public servants will be on the streets all night long, salting and clearing the roadways, some on 14-hour shifts. The best thing you can do is help them is stay off the roads unless absolutely necessary. Finally, remember, while DSOI clears the streets, it is every property owner's responsibility to clear their sidewalk of snow and ice. No one likes getting a ticket, but no one likes knowing that the dereliction of duty kept a senior from getting home or a young person from getting to school. Avoid the fine by doing your part. Thank you, and stay safe.
Yeah, it's common sense.
Over to any questions?
Mayor, as we just saw, it's coming down pretty quickly. Any concern about possible power outages at a time that, the snow falling this quickly and also drop temperatures?
Zach and his crew over at OEM is going to be in communications with all of our partners, Con Edison and the other the agencies and outside partners that's involved. We've been here before. We know we have not had
check for
snow in
me.
some time, but the
I'm gonna build
coordination
my
is in
deck.
place, and that's why it's
I
so
want to build
important
my. I'm gonna buy a binder.
do the drills that we do and be prepared as we have these weather emergencies.
How much? All this is coming to Connecticut. See all this right here? This is coming to Connecticut. And we're over here. Like, all this is coming. And that is like a band that's going to be developing. That's going to drop a lot of snow. This little line right here,
I think the response to that article
it's going to
is
drop a
Happy New
lot
Year.
of snow.
Have a good time. Yes.
All right, so let's go ahead and move on from this and go to Connecticut. Let's look at some news out of Connecticut.
And back here with more talking Winter Storm Abraham. So here's the big question.
Abraham.
When do you think the snow's going to start falling in Connecticut?
Southwestern Fairfield County, it is getting underway right now. Are you excited?
Very excited. Always. It wasn't a white Christmas, but a close.
Pretty good.
And it's been a while since we've seen a statewide snow event like this that's going to be plowable. Not the best for making snowmen. It's like light, fluffy snow as opposed to the heavy, wet snow, but at least it makes it easier to remove.
Not bad. Abraham, we'll see.
Abraham, yes. We'll have much more on the naming coming up in just a moment. Our first alert weather day relative to Winter Storm Abraham lasts through tomorrow morning for snow that's going to be heavy at times. It's going to have a big impact on travel, not only making roads slick, but that visibility is also going to be reduced dramatically. So the storm is going to be ramping up between now and, say, 9 p.m. from southwest to northeast. So we'll take a little bit of some time to reach the quiet corner. The peak statewide between 9 p.m. and 1 a.m. That's when we could see snowfall rates well in excess of an inch an
inch to 2 inches an hour.
So your first alert to
it's coming down hard. We're gonna I'll probably have to take us outside live.
The snow wraps up, ends around daybreak tomorrow. For much more on how much snow could add up in your community and also a little bit on the history of naming storms here at Channel 3. We want to continue our team coverage right now with meteorologist Tyler Hughes. Tyler.
Hey, Marky. Yeah,
I'm gonna have to put on my snow boots
with the latest data that came in earlier on this afternoon, and now we're
talking about snow
half
boots.
a foot of
Terry
snow
got
in some
some
spots,
nice
especially across the western part of Connecticut. So 8 to 12 inches, parts of Litchfield and Fairfield counties.
Here comes the
central part
snow.
of the state, more like 6 to 8 inches. This includes the Hartford and New Haven areas, and then over toward the eastern part of the state, more like 4 to 6 inches. But nonetheless, there will be a lot of snow for a lot of places tomorrow. And with
I think we might get 10 inches here where I live.
Much of the state, most of the state, will see over.
If we get 12
inches,
inches, I'm going to be so fucking pissed.
That means the winter storm gets a name.
I know you know right now. I'm going to be fucking pissed.
The criteria: most of the state needs at least
I gotta go somewhere early in the morning tomorrow,
or half an inch of ice accretion. Thankfully, no
ice
accretion
I go, yep,
is expected.
And I'm going to fucking record it so you guys can fucking see.
We've had all kinds of themes for winter storm names. We've seen trees, birds, even chart-topping artists. Well, this year's theme, looking forward to 2026's 250th birthday for America, is the first names of presidents. So this is Winter Storm Abraham. The next one will be Winter Storm Benjamin for President Harrison. For
Benjamin
on
is also a Jewish
ahead
name.
to the 7-day forecast, here's Mark.
Hey there, Tyler. Yes, we're going to likely wipe away snowfall
Jewish
deficits
names.
that have been slowly growing day by day. For the Hartford area, only 4.1 inches so far measured for the season to date. That's a deficit of 6 inches, half a foot behind, and about a half-inch deficit so far for Bridgeport. So as you just saw from Tyler, plowable amounts of snow, 6 inches, if not more, for most of Connecticut. We're tracking the leading edge of that snow crossing the New York border with Connecticut, especially there into southwestern parts of Fairfield County, where visibility is starting to be reduced. And that will be the case as this line, this shield of snow moves farther east across Connecticut. And given that temperatures are certainly sub-freezing and in the low and mid-20s, especially inland, it's going to be that light, fluffy snow, and certainly is going to be sticking on contact. Plenty of moisture for this storm system to work with as we make our way through this evening into tonight. Note the temperature trend through the overnight hours fairly steady in that 20 to 25 degree range. So this will be all snow from beginning to end across Connecticut here. First alert futurecast showing by 7, 8 o'clock, that snow beginning to move into the quiet corner of northeast Connecticut, snowing statewide points thereafter. Again, ramping up the intensity of the snow as we head past midnight. The snow that is once steady and heavy becomes more scattered in nature before totally winding down by daybreak, and then points thereafter. Tomorrow afternoon, we'll see some sunshine. Temperature-wise for our Saturday, 20s to start, mid and upper 20s by noon, and then points thereafter, upper 20s near 30, inland low 30s along the 95 corridor. In the wake of this storm, Winter Storm Abraham, we have another system that's going to take a relative warm track to Connecticut. So a little bit of an icy mix later Sunday, goes over to rain. Rain on Monday with temperatures heading well into the 40s. So some of the snow will be washed away. So certainly enjoy it if you're a snow lover tomorrow, because look at that rain on
go
top
skiing
of that,
tomorrow.
especially with temperatures well above freezing.
You got tomorrow and Sunday
before
to enjoy.
Air arrives on Tuesday, back sub freezing with a wind that will make it feel a bit colder, 30 to 35 as we close out the year and kick off 2026 with dry weather as we see it now.
Mark, thanks so much. We will see.
Well, if you have any plans for New Year's, let's check out this channel here. It's more about the weather, but this is like the upcoming weather. Let's check this out.
We are about to see a much colder and much snowier pattern ahead. We have a duo of major winter storms that are about to cross the nation from West Coast to East Coast, impacting everyone. These storms will feature heavy snowfall and even severe weather. We will also see a setup perfect for major snowstorms along
what's up, Kayla?
Coast in the form of nor'easters. Well, let's get started. First things first, we're going to take a look at that first major winter storm, which is upcoming very, very soon. We can see some snowfall today along the western areas of the United States. By the way, I hope everybody had a great Christmas. I didn't really post anything yesterday, but I do hope that everybody had a great day. We could see for tomorrow, a lot of that energy out west is now less so over the west coast and more over the Rockies, still bringing very heavy snowfall to parts of these areas. And we can see some low pressure developing just to the east of there. As we move a little bit forward, this is towards Sunday afternoon on the 28th here of December. We can see the low as of now from this European model.
Same here, Kayla. It was very,
northern Illinois.
It was very pleasant.
With some
I had a very good time.
Parts of the plains and even up into the upper Midwest.
Wow,
we're also going to be watching for severe weather underneath with this one. I will talk about that in a little bit. Rest assured.
Sunday we're going to get rain.
See that heavier snowfall
we're going to get ice on Monday.
And now even the UP of Michigan by the time this low continues to
head that's
eastward.
Not good.
And this is a hefty system. This is a 987 millibar low pressure center.
So
for
Connecticut,
a very strong
Massachusetts
low taking place. And we also have plenty of Arctic air set up over this area. So very heavy snowfall event. It's dropping in pressure still down to a 973 over the Great Lakes.
Yeah, but that's not coming to the Northeast
for this time of year. And then that one continues to move through and eventually northward up into Canada, bringing some snow showers to the Great Lakes.
I mean, we may get some lake effect.
Very heavy. And even some snow showers in the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast for
but we're not
Tuesday
getting
the 30th as this very potent cold air moves in. So let's take a look here at some of the snowfall totals out west. This is through New Year's. And we do see the Sierra Nevada getting feet of snowfall. The Cascades and Rockies are also seeing up to a foot or even 2 foot of snowfall before it's all said and done. As we take a look at some of our more
I'm glad you guys
states,
like
we
it.
do see 2 to 6, even 6 to
it's
10
a
inches
one of
for
a kind.
Minnesota. Wisconsin, same thing until you move to northern Wisconsin, where we even get a chance of seeing maybe more than
Definitely
a foot.
one of a kind.
The UP of Michigan with some of that lake effect snowfall reaches even more towards perhaps 2 or 3 feet by the time we're reaching New Year's. The lower peninsula of Michigan is seeing a lot. And then Ohio into a lot of western Pennsylvania and West Virginia is seeing multiple inches of snowfall from this event alongside others that are occurring. And then as we take a look at the Northeast, we could see some lake effect snowfall occurring due to this system moving through. We also see some of northern New England seeing some snowfall, plowable amounts. It's mostly after our upcoming storm that we really don't see much action for the Mid-Atlantic or southern New England, at least through New Year's, it looks like. For now, we do have some model guidance suggesting that these guys can get in on the activity as well, but this European model for today's model run does not show that. Let's move into the severe weather.
Can you imagine it switches and it starts snowing like hell on New Year's?
And we're looking at the CAPE, which stands for Convective Available Potential Energy.
Oh, that would be
all
so
you
awesome.
need to know is that this is
Let it
thunderstorm
snow
fuel
all
or
over
thunderstorm
Mondani's
food.
face.
I kind of use those two analogies oftentimes. And really, when we see this expand and set up, we see the fuel available for the thunderstorms to consume. They do consume this, so the CAPE goes down, but the thunderstorms flare up. And we can see for Saturday morning, we start to see some for Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas. And look at how that just explodes through the afternoon. We have a lot going on for Saturday the 27th as far as potential thunderstorms. And then into the 28th, We see a lot of this flaring up for Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, even up into Illinois and Indiana, as well as out east for Louisiana. So we're going to be watching for thunderstorm activity and even severe weather potential. We can see that Cape does eventually die down as it moves eastward. So when we look at the thunderstorms flaring up, this area here we're going to watch closely. This is Sunday morning on the 28th. Watch what happens as we move closer to the afternoon. A lot of activity flares up south of the low for these areas right here. This is where we're going to be watching northeast Texas,
Tornadoes.
eastern Oklahoma, Arkansas, southeast
That's gonna
Missouri,
be tornado
and
alley.
a bit of Indiana. Again, underneath the low, that's where the cold front is. We have dry, cold air swinging behind that cold front, and we have warm, humid air rising up underneath the low out ahead of the cold front, and that is a perfect setup for thunderstorm activity,
Tornado.
even severe weather. Let's take a look here at the GFS model, because we do actually get an additional snowfall event on this model as opposed to the European model before New Year's. This is one that the European model was showing a couple of days ago, and we actually see a clipper system rolling through the northern plains and upper west here.
Clipper.
Right around January 1st, this is right around New Year's, and we see as we're kind of reaching through the overnight. I know some people travel for New Year's, so this is an impact for sure. We see northern Illinois, northern Indiana, northern Ohio, a lot of Michigan, Pennsylvania, New York, seeing snowfall overnight the first few hours of 2026 here. We do see this does move eastward into the mid-Atlantic and northeast, and we see snowfall for areas like southern New England. It's kind of mixed. I don't know at 7 p.m. if we're really going to have this much issue with some rainfall, especially in the middle of a trough. This low is very close by here, just over Maine. But we do see the potential for more snowy impacts in the mid-Atlantic and northeast right around New Year's Day into the 2nd of January, especially according to this GFS model. And this would
Well, let's hope it gets here quicker.
It's not major, but we do see 2 to 6 inches in a lot of these blue areas for parts of western Pennsylvania, even north central and northeastern Pennsylvania, a lot of upstate New York into southern New England and even northern New England here. So we're watching very closely for not a major snowstorm, but definitely an impactful one happening for the first few days of January. Another thing with the GFS is this nor'easter pattern that we see set up that I was talking about earlier. And this is in the long range, so take it with a grain of salt, but we see the perfect setup for East Coast snowstorms. We see the cold air, and then we see a vertical flow of that precipitation up the eastern states. And this is the type of pattern we've been waiting for years for these areas. It doesn't mean we're going to cash in, but the potential is there during this time frame for now. We see the colder air moves in. We see another kind of upper Midwest, Great Lakes snowstorm moving in with that for the 6th, 7th. But details like that aren't super critical. We're looking at patterns when we're beyond 10 days. We do see a very cold pattern set up here for the 8th. A slightly positive PNA, which causes that ridge out west. And then we get this straight northern flow all the way up. Are we going to get a nor'easter with this one? We have not had a lot of that recently in the last few years.
We haven't had a
We see higher pressure and warmer temperatures for the southwest, which allows for this trough to really dig deep, bringing a lot of cold Arctic air. We can even see some interior eastern wintry weather setting up here for parts of Virginia, West Virginia, Maryland, into Pennsylvania, and upstate New York here. But if the timing is a little bit slower with the storm, we move a couple hours forward. Let's say the storm was moving through here.
Yeah, these guys are pretty cool.
We have a flow of precipitation. It could be 12 hours earlier, 12 hours later, or even further apart than that from what the model is currently showing. But we would have potential snowfall up and down the eastern states here in this instance if it was around the 8th, 9th, which again is very far out. But the pattern is setting up on these models to be very favorable for a more vertical motion up the eastern states, which is the biggest,
I expect more snow in January.
Climbing and bringing widespread areas major snowfall. With this pipeline of precipitation moving up the east, that would be the perfect
snow for my birthday.
Heavy snowfall.
I'm putting it in the universe right now.
Corridor. The European model does show a similar setup take place. We do get some Midwest and Great Lakes and Northeast activity here around the 4th of January, which could be an interesting setup. This is right around 10 days out. We're going to be watching for more of these storms moving through the middle of the central and eastern states, pretty much horizontally from west to east. we're going to be watching for more potential storms like that. We do get another very, very intense storm moving up
big
through the Ohio
storm.
Valley. This
That's going to
system
bring a lot of
mostly
tornadoes.
very, very strong, similarly to our
for
other major winter storm.
a lot of people.
But it's located a little bit
Mississippi,
further to the southeast.
Alabama.
We see it between Indiana and Ohio here. So
Like,
we get heavy upper Midwest and Great Lakes snowfall taking place here for states like
Tennessee,
Missouri, Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois, and Michigan
Alabama,
here, which would be very impactful.
even
and very
Georgia
interesting.
and
But
the
we
Carolinas. You got to be
see
careful because there's going to be
a
tornadoes.
corridor of severe weather again for the deep south.
People forget
up
tornadoes
into a
happen
lot of,
in
like,
this time of the
Kentucky
year.
valleys and even into the Ohio Valley here. I think this would have potential for severe weather and thunderstorms throughout this area. Speaking of severe weather and thunderstorms, be sure to join our Discord server in the description and comment down below, where we are doing a year-long severe weather contest from January 1st, 2026, all the way to the end of December, where you pick a state every day. We go based on storm reports, and we're going to have massive prizes at the end. Outside of that, we also have awesome conversations, so be sure to join our community. And this might be one of the first
I
major
can't join that
events
community
for that contest to start the year, so you're not going to want to miss it.
Too
Too
nerdy.
Today. As
Not
we
too
move
nerdy, but
past
it's
that,
just.
though, we do get that trough in the east.
I go
The
by
setup
how I
isn't
feel.
as favorable on this model, but we still get that
But
cold
January
air
6th is
with a
interesting.
vertical climb up the eastern
Look
states.
at
Which,
that.
again, we've been
That's
waiting
day.
for.
That's the day of the
problem
Three
on
Kings.
this exact instance, this
Oh,
exact
but you got a
model
low
one, is
pressure
this exact
offshore here
detail,
too.
which, again, all of the
So
exact
where the
stuff
power is going to
is the
shift?
things that are subject to change majorly in the long range. But we do have a very
Is it?
strong low
This comes up this
inland,
way.
which isn't really allowing for a major coastal system to take place. We'd really want to see a primary low
I
offshore.
want to see a
with
primary,
more
but you
cold
only
air
see
along
this
the
low
east, and that
pressure
would really
here.
set up for, again, something big maybe in this area in the medium to long range. That's some changes that can definitely occur between now and 6 or 7, or better yet, 10 or 11 or 12 days out.
Yeah,
That is definitely changes that can
this could
occur
change.
easily within that time frame. That could occur within 5 days out. So we have plenty of time for this to look even more favorable, or on the flip side, even less favorable. But I'm just showing you guys a long range signal that we're seeing that could set up for some big time stuff along the east.
That's
As we
wild.
keep going with this, because we're looking at the whole model run now, we continue to look cold throughout that long range, and then we
There's a little
actually get a
pressure.
second setup that looks very
Nothing's
vertical
coming
for
up
now.
here.
A little bit from southwest to northeast, but still, if we can get a
The
storm to travel
Carolinas.
along this, which we do see some lower pressure and storminess just
Yeah.
offshore, this could still be an excellent setup for some of these mid-Atlantic and northeast areas. Even though it's not perfectly vertical, it's still pretty vertical. This isn't a horizontal look by any means, if you can kind of tell. So definitely another setup there, although this one is much further out and even more unlikely to occur. And even the pattern
Yeah,
at
this is the
distance
knife.
out could completely
It's
look
far
different.
away.
But just showing you that the models
I mean,
are
this is the
favoring a
possibilities.
lot of setups like this, which is interesting. Total precipitation through the entire model run is
Damn, we're gonna get a
slowly
lot.
increasing out west, which is likely due to the more ridging
We're gonna
that we're
get
seeing
snow.
out there, more high
I gotta
pressure
look outside real
at
quick to see
times.
how
It's
much
not the
snow
whole
has
model run,
fallen.
but we are seeing some disruption, some blocking out there in the west that is going to cause storms to move around that area. And subsequently, we
Yeah, let
actually
me
see
go
an
look
increase
outside
in
real quick.
precipitation pretty much everywhere east of the Mississippi here, where we get large amounts of precipitation, especially in this Midwest, Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, Mid-Atlantic, and Northeast area, which combined with an overall colder pattern ahead, you can kind of picture what the types of impacts that would be. Now, total snowfall is actually still rather large out
It is
west. It's not
coming
quite
down.
as elevated as it was, but it's still rather large. And then
Holy
basically
moly.
from these plains up into the Midwest, Great Lakes
Holy
especially, and then the
moly.
Mid-Atlantic and
Coming
Northeast here
down.
is looking rather snowy. And I think with the
I
pattern
think
we
we're gonna
have,
probably
this could trend
get
even
about
snowier
9
with time.
inches.
Looking at the colder temperatures, I mean, we're
I
warmer
have
right now. We
my
knew this would happen. The
my
Northeast and Mid-Atlantic is colder, though,
measuring
and they are
tape
seeing
here.
snowfall for today into tonight.
We're
We
gonna
do see
measure
this
this
warmer
bitch.
pattern finally breaks up in a couple of days from now, around the 29th
9
here
in?
Monday, when we see an Arctic blast moving
See.
east.
That's
This
probably
is
not just-
a
we're
what
not
I'm calling
thinking
moderate
probably like-
Arctic blast. We see 10 to 15 degrees
go
of
outside and
rains. We do
check.
see some of those purple blues, which would be 15 to 25 degrees
To
below
see how
normal.
much it's
This isn't a
fallen.
historic cool down or anything, is the point I'm trying to get at, but it is definitely colder.
I say it has
As we
fallen
move
about
through
4 inches.
we really don't get much of a warm up before we get our next Arctic blast. The only difference is that this
It was
one's a
snowing really
little
hard
flat.
for a good amount of
It doesn't really
time.
reach down into the
It
south
felt like it was like
central
an
or
inch to 2 inches
southeastern
an
states
hour.
quite as much, but for the upper Midwest, Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, Mid-Atlantic, and Northeast, it does get really, really cold again just after New Year's. As we keep going, we do briefly warm up here in this pattern for the 3rd, 4th, 5th, but we do get another third major Arctic blast. One's actually a little bit heftier. For Midwest, dealing with temperatures 15, 25 to even 35 degrees below normal there for parts of Illinois and Wisconsin. It would be a very far departure from what's typical. So kind of just to put it all together here for you guys, the models are showing numerous opportunities for snowfall with a continued active storm track moving in with that Pacific jet. The only difference is because we've had that strong Pacific jet for about a week or two now, but the only difference is we're now going to see it combine with multiple strong Arctic blasts. And if we can get those two ingredients that are there to link up on 1 or 2 or even 3 occasions, we are going to be looking at major snowfall events, no doubt about it, with these two ingredients at play. With all that stuff being said, be sure to subscribe. We upload every single day. Be sure to like the video, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
All right. That was a great video, and thank you for that. Let's go ahead and pick some of those videos here because we got a couple of. We're done with the weather. We know what the weather is going to be. It's going to snow. It's snowing. It's snowing very hard. I think it's about 3 to 4 inches has fallen so far here. I have to go outside to measure it. Am I going to do that right now? Maybe. I have to put on my shoes. Well, my boots. Gonna put on my boots. It gives me a reason to wear my boots. It's been a long time since I've worn my boots. Let's see. All right, let me fix these. Man, we got some really good videos to watch towards the end. So hang on tight, my friends. Let me set this up. It's windy outside. Oh my God. That was a gust. It was like, I was like, holy moly. I mean, I did say I wanted snow for Christmas. I mean, let me see here. Just do a little housekeeping. Okay. Here we go. So, who is this one? Let's watch.
Allow me to introduce myself. Gus Polinski, Polka King of the Midwest. The Kenosha Kickers. No? That's okay. I thought you might have recognized. Anyways, I had a few hits a few years ago. That's why just polka, 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 polka. No? Twin Lakes Polka, Damavuji Polka, a.k.a. Kiss Me Polka, Polka Twist.
These are songs.
Yeah.
What's up, guys? It's Benny. What an absolute and total indictment of our corporate media ecosystem. How many reporters are there in Minnesota? Thousands. How many reporters are there across the nation in corporate media or other independent journalism entities? Tens of thousands at least. And yet, to a young YouTuber, Nick Shirley, who I think is like 21 years old, to go and blow the lid off of billions of dollars of fraud in Somali-run Minnesota in Minneapolis. Now, we all know what happens in Minneapolis. They've moved in 100,000 Somalis to vote for the Democrat Party to make sure the Democrat Party had permanent control of the state forever. But what Nick Shirley has been exposing is how fraudulent these operations are, including fake businesses, fake healthcare companies, absolute and total scams. And he just dropped a straight up banger on his channel. You should go follow his channel that exposes everything. Starting with this short video that sort of previewed all of it and went thermonuclear viral. You see here 4 million views, 30,000 repos, 95,000 likes. Let's go.
Minnesota, massive fraud is taking place within the government and the Somali population. Here, this building alone, Quality Learning Center, is a daycare, yet they spelled learning wrong and they said leering. This daycare alone in 2025 has received $1.9 million from the government. And the strange things about these childcare centers is there's no one here right now. It's midday on a weekday. If you were to try to go inside, it's completely closed and the windows are all blacked out. No one's working. Midday, children should be in here. And this place is licensed for 99 children. And this is the outside. There's no windows, no nothing. And like I said, they literally spelled the word wrong on their sign. This is open and blatant fraud taking place here inside of Minnesota. The government is complicit with this, and this is just one of the hundreds of child daycare centers here inside of Minneapolis being ran by the Somali population. It's sad that it's happening here in Minnesota, and it stinks that it's happening and it's being labeled on the Somali population. However, that's just the facts of what's happening here inside of Minnesota. $1.9 million for this daycare center that can't even spell learning right.
He says, get ready. We have so much more to show you. And Nick just dropped his full video. Once again, go watch on his YouTube, Nick Shirley, 42 minutes of exposing Minnesota fraud, probably $100 million in one day that they found fake companies, fake orphanages, fake child centers, fake welfare recipient SNAP benefits, welfare companies, and food shelters. You've seen at the very least billions of dollars found in fraud for fake food companies. And who are the people who were helping get this done? I mean, that you have to ask the question. These people off the boat Somalis with the median IQ in like the 60s and 70s, people who have an inbreeding coefficient of like 60% in some tribes, first and second cousin marriages, they don't come here as like geniuses who understand the intricacies of the American establishment, healthcare payment systems, and welfare systems. Somebody's teaching them this. Somebody is creating these operations. Somebody has the playbook, and that somebody is probably the same one that puts Ilhan Omar in office. And so you need to start asking,
That's
like,
crazy.
to get to the head of the
A
hydra
lot of
here.
snow has
It's
fallen.
really unbelievable what Nick
It's
found.
like
There
4
are multiple other instances in this video that I encourage you to watch. I'll show you just two more
don't
here.
know.
Nick
Maybe-
Shirley finding two more daycares
Can't wait
that are
to see how
completely
much.
empty with Somalis out screaming and hissing and shrieking and even calling the cops on them. Here we go.
These seem to be closed. No one's opening the doors.
You work here?
I was, yeah. What's happened?
Where are the kids?
Yeah?
It says it's licensed for 74 children. Right here, state of Minnesota. Where are the kids? They got paid $1.26 million in fiscal year 2025. It says they have a capacity for 74 children.
When?
Where are the kids? Right here. State of Minnesota website. You work here and you don't know?
I don't know. I was there before. I don't know what's going on.
Were there any kids when you worked here?
He's there. Kids there. What's
How
up?
many?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah.
You worked here. Okay, well, then you're not of any help.
Can I put my son in a daycare here?
No, I don't know.
Can I speak to someone?
No, I don't know.
No? Yeah, I would like to see if I can put my son Joey here.
Who's your son, Joey?
My son Joey. Can I check out daycare center?
I'm not my son. No. He's a liar. I'm the owner.
Do you put your kid here in this daycare?
No.
There is one child in there. Yeah, I'd like to know if this is a legit business.
Me, I'm scared of you too. How come I explain everything?
You're scared of me?
Yeah.
Why?
Because of your curry.
Because of my color. You said you're scared of me because of my color. Does that
Yeah,
make you
that's
racist?
racist.
Yeah, no.
But
No.
you said you're
I'm not-
scared of me because of my color.
I'm not saying you're racist.
You said you're scared of me because of my color. That makes you a racist.
Yeah.
So right now
This is my
they're all
tax
getting
money.
mad because he's showing the
I
paperwork
don't
of this
know that.
business being registered as a business. 74 children,
I've
no
lived my
children.
whole life
He
here.
saw one child when the lady opened up the door. So
where
now
did
they're
this
all getting
money
mad.
go? What was this money spent on? 1.26 million. What was that money spent on? There aren't any kids.
Ask the owner and the kids.
Well, then why are you talking
That's
for the
not my
owner
proof.
if you're
That's
telling me
not
to
my
talk
proof.
to the owner?
I'm sorry. I'm not understand what you're talking about.
Do you have a child here?
No.
Does anybody?
No.
Where are the 74 kids? Did you lose them? Did you lose these kids? Do I need to call someone? Do I need to issue an Amber Alert for missing children? Are these children missing? It's not my business that children are missing. 74 infants and toddlers, preschool.
The proof's
They
right
need to
there.
send
There's no
people
children
back to the
anywhere.
country.
State of Minnesota right here.
All right. I think we're moving on to the next location. Have a good day.
Nick Shirley then goes and investigates a healthcare company, a building with a bunch of Somali healthcare companies on them. It looks shady as hell. The businesses are locked up. You have libs that are out shrieking and screaming at him, and they call the cops on Nick for asking questions. That's how you know that this is totally and completely fraudulent. Check this out.
A list of all of the healthcare companies. Loads of them right here. We want healthcare. Yes, we'd like to speak about getting healthcare here. No. Why can't I get healthcare here? No, wait. Warning, you are under video surveillance. No trespassing, security armed. This is the strangest place I've ever been to get healthcare. Just a bunch of different places. Healthcare here, healthcare right here. Another healthcare company right here. There are 3 healthcare companies inside of this building right here in this room of 7C. Now we have another Helping Hands, Home Care LLC, another healthcare company. Present Help right here. We're looking for the best rates of healthcare here inside this building because we have so many options. Who can we talk about getting the best healthcare?
I don't know.
No?
Sorry.
All right. We will not get any healthcare here. David, this is one of the stranger places I've ever been. Literally, healthcare every door you go to, yet nobody will give you a rate. How much money do you think has been funneled through this building?
Every year, I would say 50 to 60 million at least.
And finally, we were accepted into one of the daycare centers, and they actually took down our information to give us a rate. However, when we left, we were then met with the police.
We received a complaint that someone mentioning your description were in this building harassing the individuals who stay here.
Oh, we're checking out the rates for healthcare because there's 14 healthcare companies inside this building. So,
okay.
Well, that's not what he said. He said there's 14 companies here, and he's trying to assume because they're Somali providers, everyone here is fraudulent.
Okay. So
he's here with some kind of like propaganda.
No, we're just checking.
No, this is a area that we're allowed to enforce trespassing ordinance. Is there any other reason you guys are here?
Well, we were checking rates.
No, he's not.
We were checking rates. We asked for rates.
No, you're not.
Okay. I'm gonna have, if you guys are all good, we're gonna step outside and we can continue this conversation.
All right, let's leave. So, all right, we're getting escorted out right now. The police have arrived. We were checking out the rates, seeing what was happening inside this building. No one would really speak with us.
That's
we did
what they were doing.
one daycare center, and she actually did give us rates for childcare. Much respect to that lady. What's the problem, officer?
Well, so again, we've been getting reports from multiple individuals that you guys were harassing individuals who work here. At the end of the day, this is private property, and it's one that people are allowed to ask you to leave, and it's also one the Minneapolis Police Department is allowed to enforce trespassing
Private
ordinance
for
at this
health?
address.
Yeah.
So
as we got escorted out of this building, the Somalis filmed us as we left, and we headed over to the next building that had 22 of the same home health care providers operating from inside of the building.
The entire internet is sharing
Wow.
these clips. The entire
That's
internet.
crazy,
These are
man.
going viral. How is it that
They're
no
stealing
other reporter
from
has
the
done
American
this?
people.
How is it that no one has done this? Elon Musk, one
Nobody's
taxpayer-funded
doing
daycare after another.
anything to
There are
stop them.
literally 0 kids, not even a few kids, just for
Nobody's
show.
stopping them.
That's right. No kids anywhere. Time
No
to cut all
accountability.
funding to Minnesota. The Trump administration
people back
had
to
better
the
get on
country.
this. I haven't seen an official response yet, but Trump's been
Put
going
them
pretty
all
hard
back.
against the Somalis, so I expect one soon. Ladies and gentlemen, again, God bless you. God bless independent journalists. Please support Nick's channels, and thank you for supporting our channel as well. Merry Christmas.
And my channel too.
Except for to
Thank you for supporting my channel too. Send them back. Send them all back. You see the fraud that they're committing, and the police don't do shit. They told them they were looking for rates. There were 14 establishment businesses of insurance businesses in that building, and no one couldn't provide them any rates. And only one person, a daycare, gave them rates. At least he has evidence that he was going there for raids because he got a raid from one establishment. That's evidence that he was there, and it's in camera. It's on the camera. Like, these Somalis, they're nothing but pirates. That's all they do is steal, rob, kill. Okay? Like, do you think they changed from their ways in their country and to our ways here in the United States? No, they're still acting the same pirate self here in the United States. They need to go back. I'm sorry. They think they got the upper hand and they're laughing and they all think they're proud. And no, wait, Trump, please sign the Insurrection Act. That's all you got to do. And we could get them all out. All of them. We'll do a huge raid. And that police officer that pretty much trespassed this individual, guess what, buddy? You're fired. And the officer that was with you too, guess what? You're fired too. Like, we need to bring back accountability in our country, man. We definitely do. All right, let's watch this next.
Ohio, ICE arresting illegal immigrants in the capital, Columbus, and across the state in what's being dubbed Operation Buckeye. Agents nabbing criminal aliens from places like India and Somalia, some convicted of violent crimes, sex offenses, felony robbery, and possession. Let's bring in ICE Deputy Director Madison Sheehan. She is in Ohio for Operation Buckeye. Madison, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Well, what's the latest you're seeing there in the Buckeye State?
Well, we were able to kick this operation off on December 16th. And with this operation, we've had a lot of success very quickly. Our officers have gone out and truly arrested the worst of the worst. We have arrested gang members, murderers, and rapists. We've arrested people with sex crime charges. We've arrested people with DWI charges. And we've been able to go after these people that have been in this country illegally. They have taken advantage of the system here in Ohio, and we're putting a stop to that, allowing us to go after the worst of the worst who have been embedded themselves in these communities near Columbus, Ohio.
The Columbus mayor is protesting. I want to play a clip from him, and I'll get you to react.
Our police will not be used to carry out.
Yeah, you know what? The police officers need to be fired too,
without
Terry.
federal intervention. Please take care of one another and know that your community leaders see and support you.
What's your response to him, and is his protest causing you any issues?
Well, look, we will continue to go into cities no matter if the locals want to work with us or not. Sanctuary cities policies, leaders who don't want to work with ICE is not going to deter ICE from doing our job. We want to walk beside law enforcement officers to allow them to go after the worst of the worst, the people that have been wreaking havoc in their communities. Now, if the city of Columbus doesn't work with us, well, that's not going to stop us from going in and removing these criminals who have wreaked havoc on the American people for far too long.
Meantime, ICE agents are also doing enforcement operations in Maryland. That's where they say this van tried to run them over on Christmas Eve. Police say agents approached the van in a quiet neighborhood south of Baltimore, and the driver headed right at them, then hit vehicles as he tried to get away. The ICE agent shot into the van, wounding the Portuguese driver. His Salvadoran passenger suffered whiplash when the van hit a building. Homeland Security says both are here illegally on overstayed visas. This is just the latest in a sharp rise in vehicle attacks on federal agents since President Trump took office January 20th. 71 attacks on Customs and Border Protection agents, up 58% from last year.
The Democrats want to protect them.
On ICE, up a stunning 1,300%. Here is Border Czar Tom Homan.
Putting hands on a ICE officer. So I looked at the numbers the other day. I've never seen so many prosecutions in my life. So we're sending a strong message. There is zero consequence. You put a hand on an ICE officer. If you interfere with an ICE officer, you'll get a set of handcuffs, and you're going to go to jail, and you're going to be federally prosecuted.
How troubling is this trend for your agents in the field who are at times targets?
Well, what we've seen is Democrat lawmakers continue to use this dangerous rhetoric. They're pushing this narrative online that if an ICE officer attacks you, you should use your vehicle to ram against them. This is dangerous. Puts our officers in danger. This puts the aliens in danger. These aliens that they swear they're here to protect when our law enforcement officers are out doing their job. Secretary Noem and President Trump have allowed the ICE officers to go out and do their job. Every single day, Secretary Noem empowers us to go after the worst of the worst, to go after criminals who have been in this country illegally. And that's what our officers will continue to do. Even as this threat level rises, we will continue to go do our job.
Then there's Governor Tim Walz of Minnesota's daughter, Hope, with this pointed Christmas message.
I just wanted to say Merry Christmas to you all. Today, I am holding all of our neighbors that ICE has been terrorizing near and dear to my heart and sending them love and light, as well as all of our unhoused folks and just anybody that may be struggling right now. I'm holding very close to me, and I hope that you can all do so as well.
Merry Christmas to the illegals. What do you make of that?
Well, Governor Walz has proven that he does not take care of his people. He's allowed his cities to wreak havoc, and he has not had any law and order in his communities. And, this just adds to that narrative that empowers people to go after federal law enforcement officers. If you touch a federal law enforcement officers, there will be penalties that come with that. We will continue to go after the worst of the worst. We will continue to enforce the immigration law as it's written every single day, no matter what.
Madison Sheehan from ICE, many thanks for your time today. Great to see you.
Hey, everyone.
All
I'm
right.
Emily Campagno. Catch me and my
Emily! What's up, Emily Campagno? Let's keep it moving. Liberal Hive Mind.
Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. And of course, here's your meme of the day, brought to you by 5mind.com. Now, I know this is a risky opinion. I know it goes against what pretty much everything, especially the mainstream media, is saying, but I'm sticking by it. In fact, I am doubling down. I'm just going to plainly make the claim here. The Democrat Party is in a horrible spot heading into 2026. And now that might be a little bit shocking to you, especially considering the latest Atlas Intel poll. Earlier this week, we were hit with a shock poll from Atlas Intel. That's usually a great pollster, showing Donald Trump with an abysmal approval rating and Democrats with a massive lead in generic ballot data. And when I say massive, I mean massive. Supposedly, Democrats are up 16 points. But there's actually an explanation for this. If you look at the average here, you'll notice that that poll conducted by them sampled 2,315 adults. Well, as we know, polls that are sampling adults are complete garbage. And so that's exactly where this poll is going. This poll is going straight into the frickin' dumpster, straight where it belongs. But anyways, while the Democrats are reposting this poll over and over again, taking a preemptive victory lap, I'm sitting here looking at the data and I'm just not seeing the same picture. The reality is the Democrats are in the weakest midterm position that I've seen in my lifetime. And let me show you guys exactly what I mean by that. But before we get into any of it, this video is brought to you guys by a sponsor, so let's first play that clip. Friends, I'll put it simple. Ground News is the best news aggregator in the fake information hellscape in the world of social media, fake news, to Ground News. Now back to the video. All right, friends, let's first start off by pulling up that aggregate that I showed you guys earlier from the RCP average. Now, the first thing you'll notice is that it is indeed blue as the eye can see. Well, that is other than the RMG research poll that we covered a couple weeks ago. And so to be totally clear here, yes, the polls are showing the Democrats do have a slight lead on generic ballot data, but the word that we want to focus on there is the word slight. Outside of the Atlas Intel outlier, the numbers may look good, but historically, they're actually awful. Democrats mostly falling within 2 to 4 points. And keep in mind, you'll notice a lot of voters are undecided here. Some of these polls seem to have over 20% undecided, and that undecided voter is the most important factor. It's what we should be talking about here, because as we move closer and closer to election day, well, more and more people are going to start deciding. And historically, as we get closer and closer to election day, as more and more people decide, generally, the early Democrat lead should shrink. I got an X post here from Red Eagle Politics. Dems are polling in generic congressional ballot 10 points behind where they were on this day in Trump's first term. Blue wave, though, right? If we take a look at the data, December 21st, 2017, on average, Democrats were sitting at a plus 13, meaning that complete outlier poll that you saw from Atlas Intel, well, that was basically what we were seeing across the board. And then you'll notice the closer you get to election day, the next roughly 6 months following that, look at how that lead starts to shrink. It seems as though it goes under 5 points. And you'll notice again, the Democrat lead that was at 49% collapsed all the way down to just slightly above 44. Meanwhile, the Republican standing went from 36 to over 40. And this, my friends, was in possibly the weakest position that Donald Trump has ever been in. This is when the entire establishment, including the GOP establishment, was working against President Trump. They were blocking his wall, blocking his healthcare reforms. Basically, the Democrats had the whole country convinced that Donald Trump was a Russian agent, and yet still their lead collapsed before Election Day. Well, what do you think that means today? If we apply that same rationale, that same logic, it means the closer we get to Election Day, there's a good chance that these numbers totally invert. And the crazy part is they don't even need to fully invert. Republicans can defend against this supposed blue wave even at the current polling levels, especially considering everything we saw with redistricting. And so again, Democrats are in the weakest position going into a technical first term midterm that I have ever personally seen. And it gets even worse if you look at the best pollsters. Emerson is only showing a +2. RMG Research is showing a +4 for Republicans. Surprisingly enough, even some of the crappy pollsters out there, like the Morning Compost, their latest update shows a +4 lead for Democrats. But a couple days prior, because they do a lot of consistent updates, they were actually showing only a 1-point lead for Democrats. So the Morning Compost, the pollster that you would expect would have Democrats up by 15 freaking points at this point. Even their polls basically within the margin of error. This is not a big blue wave. And the outlook, frankly, in my view, gets even worse if you consider where the Democrat Party is as a whole. Actually, speaking of holes, they're kind of in a funding hole right now. Democrats are in massive debt. They barely have any cash on hand. But really, the cash isn't the issue. The fundraising isn't the issue. The issue, I think, is sitting at 18%. And what's worse is, frankly, the delusional response to this Quinnipiac poll. A friendly pollster showing Democrats in such abysmal position.
Heading into the new year and into a midterm election year, 18% of voters approve of the way the Democrats in Congress are handling the job. 73% disapprove. This is a record low job approval rating for your party. This came out last week in but the for quite some time, Congresswoman. I want to poll.
They engaged in all the psyops. They gave it their all. Give the Democrats an A for effort every single time. Boy, do they build narratives. They shut down the government, the whole Tesla stuff. They gave it their all. And right now, this is where they're supposed to be peaking. Roughly 12 months ahead of the next election. Actually, a little bit less than that at this point. But looking at 2017, December was the peak, right? Where they were at +13. This is where Democrats are supposed to be at their strongest. And it just isn't really looking that great. And now they have to, and honestly, it feels crazy to even say that because it feels like 2025 started yesterday, but it's already been roughly a year of Trump's second term, first term, you could say. And 2025, by all accounts, has been a smashing success. Issue after the American people. Well, at first it started slow and people were dooming, but now by the end of the year, the number is over 2.5 million people have been deported. This is a massive success. When it comes to foreign policy, the Trump administration has been, stellar as expected. Then the one issue that Democrats were hoping would be their best issue this year, the cost of living, affordability, the economy, they were betting on tariffs backfiring, but instead, their rhetoric, their narrative building backfired. The economy is roaring. Wages are rising. Markets at an all-time high. Tariffs generating incredible amounts of revenue. Trump getting trade win after trade win. Not to mention how many trillions of dollars are coming in as investment. Oh, and should I mention crime? The latest report showing a 20% reduction in murder year over year. That's a massive reduction in homicide. And guess what? They didn't have to freaking fudge the numbers to get the job done. No, it's exactly like I've been saying. Give it time. Let these policies start to marinate and materialize and just watch the cuts. There's all kinds of people focusing on Republican infighting right now. Ooh, Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens, Nick Fuentes, Tim Pool. It's a big reality TV show. MAGA is dead. But first off, most of these people aren't even really MAGA. They don't represent MAGA. And secondly, give it a couple months, nobody gives a crap. There's always a story of infighting. There's always the latest boogeyman. You know, the Democrats are going to lean into the Nick Fuentes and Candace Owens stuff over and over again, but it's not going to have an impact. Just like trying to demonize Joe Rogan and Tucker Carlson and everybody else back then didn't have an impact either in the 2024 election, the 2020 election. All the demonization they did in 2016 didn't work either. No, that's because when it comes to elections, you know what really matters? The fundamentals. That's what I'm always saying. The frickin' fundamentals. And hey, here's a fundamental electoral factor, let's call it energy prices. Well, they're hitting multi-year lows. And if things now stay consistently good, moving forward for the next 10 months of serious campaigning that's going to start kicking in here, if crime continues to fall, if the GDP reports each quarter continue to drop hot, if investment continues flowing in, inflation is contained, wages are going up, energy costs and gas costs continue to go down, grocery costs are going down, or at least relative to wages, you got taxes and regulations coming down, it's going to speak volumes to the voters. Now, it's hard to predict the future. I'm not going to sit here and say that everything Donald Trump touches turns to gold, but I'm also not going to sit here and bet against Donald Trump. Honestly, I think logically, that's probably one of the dumbest things that you could do. The people who are betting against Donald Trump consistently tend to be the most wrong. And so all things considered, if things continue even remotely consistent and stable, there is no blue wave. There might be a little blue blip on the radar, or we might see something truly unprecedented. Republicans maintaining the House, and yet again, another disastrous electoral defeat for the Democrats. But of course, we'll have to continue to observe the data. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.
There you go, Liberal Hive Mind. Thank you for that. Yeah, this is weird shit going on, right? It's like everything's just so weird. And it sucks because
they don't even need to fully invert.
The Democrats, they gaslit us for so long, right? And the fact that we were hypnotized, I wasn't, but a lot of people were fucking hypnotized by the Democratic Party. And to the point that they dyed their hair all different colors and all these crazy piercings and they-dums and who-days and I don't know what. It's crazy, but I'm just happy that sanity is coming back. And it took, Trump to win. And on his first year, look at all the stuff he has done in just his first year back. And we got 3 more years to get more done. So the gravy train ain't stopping. We got to keep moving forward and still prosper, and look forward. Democrats, they're stuck in the past. They're stuck at racism. They stuck at their gender equality and gender binding bullshit. Like, get the fuck out of here with that shit. But let's go ahead and check this out here. Okay, here we go. Let's check this out. Got a special report.
This is a First Alert Weather special report.
And welcome to
look at that snow coming down.
Streaming with the additional details on tonight's snowstorm around here. You can see that it's coming down at a pretty good clip. And notice that it's going from right to left across your screen. This is lower Manhattan. If you could pick it out down here, winds are coming out of the east and they're blowing that snow around and the snowflakes are sticking, each and every one of them that lands on the ground because it's 26 and it's been cold all afternoon. The wind chill is currently in the upper teens. Now, let's do a little bit of a radar tour across the area. You notice it's band.
Oh, no, it's banding
the blue,
in my area.
Blue, those are the
dark blue hitting hard in my area.
While we're on this particular map, I should show you that this over here
like dark
is
blue.
Sleet
Oh,
and freezing rain.
smoked.
Now, I am a little concerned that that could hold down accumulations in a few spots later on tonight. As we watch the temperatures aloft, they start to warm up a little bit. But in the meantime, every time one of these dark blue bands moves through your area, the snowfall rates pick up 1/2 inch to 1 inch per hour. We take you out to Suffolk County first. This band moved across Nassau into Suffolk,
Wow.
is now heading on out beyond
Long
Riverhead
Island's getting hit.
on out towards the Twin Forks. Rates could be anywhere from 1 inch to 1 inch per hour. Now you get a little bit of a break, and then the next band starts to show up. So let's zoom in on the city and the boroughs. Here we have Manhattan. Look at
Yeah.
Brooklyn and Queens, and it's making its way across
Yeah,
towards
you
the
area
north
too.
shore of the
Sure,
island
you're
right
getting
now.
some
I'm
good
gonna
snow
take
out
you
there.
west as well. And again, a little bit of a break, perhaps, right around 80 when you get out of the city, west of the GW. But this is really concerning here. Western parts of Jersey, you go past 287 on 80 or 78, you get back towards the Delaware Water Gap, and it could be an inch or two per hour there. So it accumulates very, very, very quickly. Snow is getting heavy all across the area right now. It is accumulating, as I said, because the temperatures are well below the freezing mark. They've been below freezing all day. The ground is cold, so it's going to stick. The heaviest rates of snow are still making their way into the region at about 1 to 2 inches per hour as we head on towards midnight, anywhere from about 8 to 2. Very hazardous travel. If you have not gone home yet and you're still at a relative's or a friend's house, hang on, just stay there, be an uninvited guest for another night, because you're going to need to
Yeah, it's
stay there
hazardous.
because the travel is just going to be
You
almost
can't travel
impossible.
tonight.
Light to moderate snow will continue to fall after midnight. It'll still accumulate, but not nearly as rapidly as it is out there right now. And then after about, I would say 9 o'clock in the morning or so, the snowfall will become lighter and break up, and the sun may even try to break through the clouds. In terms of snowfall amounts, where those bright blue bands were showing up that I was pointing out before, most of them are here, and they're emanating around northwest New Jersey, the Hudson Valley, as well as on back into the Poconos. You folks, if you're under those bands for any particular length of time, could see
At least the
half foot
Poconos is
to a
getting
foot
snow.
of
That's
snow.
good.
The rest of the region, give or take a
Good
couple
for them. They
inches
need
of
it
a
for the
half foot
skiing.
of snow, lighter amounts on the edges. That's farther away from the system. This is an area down here in central and southern New Jersey, especially south of 195, that could pick up sleet or freezing rain, and that will also hold down those accumulations. You can see the snow that is falling out there, the Christmas snow. It's green, lit up by the lights outside. 18 degrees is what it feels like with an actual air temperature of 26 in the city, and everybody has temperatures that are at or below freezing. No, it's below freezing everywhere, as a matter of fact. Our first alert weather day continues from this evening right on through Saturday. It may be heavy at times, as we mentioned. Snowfall totals, there they are once again. Major travel disruptions. I'm sure we're going to start seeing big delays at the airports around there. These are
Visibility
visibilities,
is
and these
not
are the current
good.
visibilities. They are under 1 mile in some area. This is the future visibility showing that
Not
it could
good.
get close to near zero in spots during the next several hours. In other words,
Connecticut, look at that.
whiteout
The visibility is
conditions. So
all
not only do
gray.
you have slippery roads,
Can't
but
see
you've got
shit.
visibilities that are going to knock down the ability to see where you're going and see where that ice is, or the guy in
Whoever
front of
had
you.
flights
They do
tonight,
start to
oh man, I
improve,
feel bad for
towards
y'all.
sunrise or so, and you can see by noon tomorrow, the sun may even be able to break through, but the visibilities are back up. They're back up over 10 miles. The storm is over. So, winter storm warning in effect in pink. It's a winter weather advisory in purple down to the south and the southwest.
Connecticut,
As all
yeah,
this
pink.
comes on through the area during the night, here you have your 32-degree line, and that may make the snow wetter across parts of Long Island, but it does get out of here during the day tomorrow, and we should have better conditions. And there's your snowfall amounts once again for the tri-state region. So
5 to 9
here
inches.
we have our 7-day forecast, and it is going to call for
9
not only
inches.
temperatures out there that
It's
are
35 inches
generally
as
going
it is
to
right
stay
now
cold through
outside.
Saturday. Where's that 7-day forecast? There it is. And it's going to go on up to about 37 on Sunday and 47 on Monday, but it's raining. And that's going to make for a real gloppy, sloppy mess out there.
Oh, man, it's
Tuesday,
gonna
Wednesday, Thursday,
freeze.
Friday, as we close out the year, begin the new year. It is cold once again. We will keep you updated on this storm as we go through the evening.
I wonder if we're gonna get like.
This has been a.
Let me see this one.
This is a First Alert Weather Special Report.
Hi, meteorologist Craig Allen. Thank you for joining us on this snowy evening, this snowy Friday evening, as the snow continues to blow across on easterly winds. Visibility, not all that great at all, as you can see, and it's going to remain that way for the next several hours around here, at least through midnight, the worst of this. It's 25 degrees. The snow's coming down. Feels like 18 right now. And And visibility, it's saying 2 miles, but in some other places, it's almost a near whiteout. But there are a few things that are happening right now that's very interesting as we take a look at radar.
in the
Yeah, this is
kitchen,
all
yeah.
snow. And you folks in the Hudson
Do is
Valley are
grab it
getting
to
blasted
measure
now
the
with
snow.
anywhere
Yeah,
from
I have my
4
measuring
to
tape
6
here.
or even 7 inches of
I
snow
have it
on
at
the
my
ground
desk.
already in
So
portions of Orange, Dutchess,
I'm ready to go
Ulster County,
outside
Sullivan County too, and then
and take a
continuing on
measurement.
into Connecticut. I mean, just the heaviest snow
Look,
around
Connecticut,
here.
we're
We
getting kicked
have
the ass
bands
right
of
now.
heavy snow that come through the
I'm
city.
telling you,
It's
it's
up
snowing really
to
hard here.
just south of 78 or
I'm at
80
feeder
in New
band right
Jersey.
there.
It's an ice storm right now. The snow has
You see
changed
this
over
feeder
to
band? I'm in that
freezing
feeder
rain,
band.
and boy, is it coming down.
And it's coming
And it's
down
just
really
icing
hard.
everything up. As you see in Paul, we have 6 inches of snow on the ground. In Long Valley, we have freezing rain off to the south and east. It's all freezing rain and sleet. Big ice storm developing down towards Trenton and Philadelphia. And around the city, it's 20s and snow, 25 degrees. 23 on the island, 22 degrees up in Scarsdale. And you can notice here that the snow, it's mostly snow as we get into the city. But this line right here is very important because that's the 32-degree line. The snow may become wet. The snow could become a mix of sleet and freezing rain as well until it all moves out of here during the afternoon hours. Right now, we continue with a half a foot either side of that 6-inch mark, let's say, in and around this region, but big numbers, a foot or more, up on across through the central and northern sections of the Hudson Valley within our viewing area, and much less to the south because of that change over to sleet and freezing rain. 32 overnight. The snow will give way to some late day clearing tomorrow. We'll keep the first alert forecast in effect right through Saturday morning. The storm will move on out of here. The visibilities will start to improve as we go through the day. And let's take a look at the 7-day forecast here because it is very, very important. If you could put that up for me, Max, the 7-day forecast across the region. We're talking about temperatures that are going to stay in the 30s for most of the area during the afternoon hours on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. That's when it's going to rain on Sunday and on into Monday. We'll have more of that coming up in just a little bit.
This has been a First Alert Weather Special Report.
All right. So that's our special report on the snow. So it's going to come down. It's still coming down. 9 inches tonight, 8-9 inches. Ooh, like I said, I got the measuring tape here. Once the show's over, I'm gonna go outside, take a measurement, put it on my shorts. And you're what? In my shorts, and it's gonna be it's a wild one. It's a wild night. A lot of snow. That was quick. A lot of snow fell in less than 2 hours. Less than 2 hours. We got about 6 inches outside. About 6 inches. So when I wrap up the show, it'll probably be around 10-ish. I'm gonna go outside. I'm gonna take my phone, record, and take a measurement and show you how deep the snow is. The top of the cars, they're like huge. Like they have like this big they have little hats on. It's like it's been a while since we had a good snowfall like this. So I'm excited. I feel like a little kid right now. It's like I wanna build a snowman. I wanna get some snow and I wanna throw it at you. This has been a perfect time for a snow fight. Oh my god. Like, I'm gonna make a snowball. I'm gonna hit somebody with it. I don't know who, but if I find someone, I'm just gonna throw in the snowball. Oh my god. All right, let's keep it moving. We got let's see. We got 3 here left to watch, and we're gonna watch Tyson the Cruz. So let's go ahead and set this up. And let's enjoy.
$2.3 billion sent to LA County over 4 years is completely unaccounted for.
America, this is the biggest government grift in California history. $2.3 billion sent to LA County for homelessness is completely unaccounted for. Gone. Finito burrito. But that's just LA County. Statewide, California has spent $24 billion on homelessness, and the problem literally dying on the streets. 146 homeless deaths in Santa Clara County alone this year. But here's what's really going on. This isn't about helping people. It's about making Democrats and their nonprofit friends rich while pretending to actually care. What is up, guys? Tyson Dela Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. We've talked about the homeless industrial complex on this channel for a while now. This is the grift that made people wealthy in California. We're talking about real estate developers, NGO heads, emergency advocate programs, you name it. While homeless people are literally crapping in the streets and doing the fentanyl lean, Democrats are getting paid. Let me break down the scale of this fraud. California has spent $24 billion, $24 billion on homelessness over the past few years. And what do they have to show for it? More homeless people, more deaths, and billions of dollars that nobody can account for.
That's $2.3 billion that could have been used to clean up this or find housing for people who live like this.
Just look at Venice Beach, $1 million homes right next to homeless encampments. People too scared to walk their dogs in their own neighborhoods. And where did the $2.3 billion go? Nobody knows. It just disappeared into the pockets of well-connected Democrats and their nonprofit buddies.
It's probably been going on for a very long time, but unfortunately, no one's really looked at it until recently. Before this position, I was in the state legislature, and we would ask a lot of questions about the billions of dollars being spent.
U.S. Attorney Bill Asaley admits this fraud has probably been going on for a long time, but nobody looked at it until recently. You know why? Because Democrats in California have supermajority. There's no checks and balances. They pass budgets, hand out billions and billions of dollars to their friends, and call it compassion. When you have one party controlling everything, this, my friends, is what happens. They spend $24 billion. The problem gets worse, and nobody asks questions because they're all getting paid. While Democrats are getting rich off this scam, real people are dying in the streets. And I'm not being dramatic here. The numbers here are absolutely horrifying. San Jose doubled their shelter capacity and safe parking spaces. You know what happened? The death count is still far too high because this isn't about actually solving homelessness. It's about creating an appearance of doing something while funneling money to connected insiders. Santa Clara County had 146 homeless deaths this year. That is quote unquote an improvement because they had 200 deaths in 2024 and 244 deaths in 2022. Think about that. We're celebrating that only 146 people died in the streets this year.
I feel like it's an honor for me to be doing this.
Painting tombstones for every unhoused person who died.
That's how she's honoring them, which is respectful. But you know what would actually honor them? Not spending $24 billion on a system designed to keep them homeless while enriching the Democrats. Now, let me show you exactly where your tax dollars went. Bill Asaley has already indicted 2 cases.
In one case, somebody was taking this money that was meant to build homes for the homeless and spending it on things like tickets to Coachella concert, jewelry, and a Beverly Hills mansion.
While people were dying in the streets, someone was using homeless
generation,
funds to buy
we didn't have
tickets to Coachella and a mansion in Beverly Hills.
It's frankly outrageous, and this goes to show when you hand out billions of dollars with little to no oversight, there are people out there that will take advantage.
This isn't just about a few bad actors. This is a system working exactly as the Democrats designed it. They created a homeless industrial complex where the goal isn't to actually solve homelessness. It's to keep the money flowing.
Most of the money goes out to nonprofits or developers who claim they're going to use the money to build housing. And what we saw in these 2 investigations, that's not where the money went.
You want to know my personal opinion on why this fraud went on so long? Because California is a one-state party where Democrats protect Democrats, period, end of story. They passed a budget, hand out billions and billions of dollars to nonprofits with strong political political ties and nobody asks questions because they're all in on the same scam.
It does sound good and it feels good to spend $24 billion in the case of California to solve homelessness. And it was almost like that was the end of the story for the legislators and the governor.
They announce the spending, pat themselves on the back, and never follow up to see if it actually helped anybody. Meanwhile, the nonprofits getting money have political ties to the same Democrats handing it out. It's a closed loop of corruption where everybody gets rich except for the people they're supposed to be helping. Let me paint a picture for you of what $24 billion in homeless spending actually looks like on the streets of California.
It is not normal for a kid to walk to school and go through people engaging in live drug use. It should not be normal.
But in California, Democrats have normalized it. They spent $24 billion and made the problem worse because the system isn't actually designed to help anybody. It's designed for profit.
To give back to the community while you're struggling, in my eyes, shows a lot.
She helped the unhoused community until the very end.
Susie was homeless herself, but she spent her time helping other homeless people. Then she was hit and killed by a car outside of a massive encampment. That's who the Democrats claim to care about. But while Susie is helping people for free, nonprofit executives were buying Beverly Hills mansions with homeless funds.
We have to continue doing the things that are going to get people off the streets, back into a productive life, into permanent housing.
They keep saying they're working to get people off the streets into permanent housing. But after $24 billion, the problem just miraculously keeps getting worse. You know why?
Coming Ski Road. But now you need to see afterward. You see how dirty these streets is? The streets ain't being clean.
Because if they actually solved homelessness, the money would actually stop flowing. The grift would completely end. The nonprofit executives would have to get real jobs. Here's the good news. The Trump administration is finally investigating this fraud.
We have many more investigations open that I cannot get into, but we are going to follow the money. We're going to follow every dollar, and we want to make sure the money went to its intended objective, which is to assist the homeless. And if any of it was diverted for personal use or other use that wasn't authorized, we intend to criminally prosecute those individuals.
This is what happens when you have federal prosecutors who aren't part of the California Democrat machine. They actually investigate corruption instead of trying to cover it up.
Just in these two cases represent over a $50 million loss. And that's, again, scratching the surface.
How many more Beverly Hills mansions were bought with homeless money? How many more Coachella tickets or festival tickets were purchased? How many more American Express bills were paid for? America, this is this industrial complex that I've been warning you about. Democrats, they spend $24 billion to help homeless people. They spent it to enrich themselves and their nonprofit friends while pretending to actually care. Real estate developers got paid to build houses that never got built. NGO heads got six-figure salaries to quote-unquote advocate while people die on the streets. Emergency program directors bought mansions while kids walked past fentanyl addicts on their way to school. And the sickest part, they'll keep doing it and doing it. They'll announce another $10 billion for homelessness, hand it to the same connected insiders, and then act shocked when the problem gets worse. Because, my friends, solving homelessness would end the actual grift, and Democrats can't let that happen. The Trump DOJ is finally exposing this corruption, but it's just the beginning. Every blue city in America has the same scam running. Billions spent, problems get worse, and Democrats miraculously get rich. Watch how many more indictments drop this coming year. Let me know what you think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.
Nice. That was cool. Great upload, brother. Hopefully we'll get him on the show in the upcoming year. We'll get him back on here. Hopefully before the new year. We'll figure that out. All right, so we got 2 back-to-back videos for us to watch. I think it's very important that we end the show with Jason A. So let's go ahead and watch and enjoy.
New at 6, we have video of another recorded explosion sound in Webster. We're up to 4 now. No one can explain to us what the source is, but this new video is different because it captures a flash of light just before the boom. And Chief Investigative Reporter Berkeley Breen is standing where it happened.
I'm near the corner of Bay and Lake Road. That's Lake Ontario right behind me. And this is where the light and the sound came from. And it was captured on this doorbell camera. First, you see the light, then you hear the sound. When you watch that video, what sound do you hear? It was Brian Hensel's camera that recorded it.
When it first happened, my wife and I were talking in the living room. It sounded to me like someone's propane tank exploded.
Wow.
It didn't sound like lightning. Wow. It didn't sound like fireworks. It was significant.
What the hell is that? This all started when Joelle Calcagno shared the explosions she recorded at her home in Webster starting in October. What do you think that is?
It sounds like something exploding to me.
This story has 116,000 views on YouTube from across the country, where neighbors shared unexplained flash and sound in their skies. This is Tampa. So, Rich, we're looking at what the weather was like on August 1st. Correct. I asked First Alert meteorologist Rich Cornelia to check the forecast from August 1st, the date of this video. Data from the airport shows no storms.
But there's a special column here for notable weather, and it's labeled as 3. And when you go down, it shows 3 as being thunder.
Could that have been as close as Webster?
For sure. Certainly, if you had lightning in Webster, there's a chance you could hear it at the Rochester airport.
There is no thunder for the dates of the other explosions. And when we freeze Brian Hensel's video, it shows the light coming from the ground, not the sky.
I didn't hear anything later on. The neighbors all seemed fine, so I just chalked it up as something I may never know what it was.
The town supervisor told me that they investigated this back in October and could not locate a source for the explosions. Since we're so close to the lake, I contacted the Coast Guard. The Coast Guard tells me there's nothing in its logs to investigate an explosion over or near the lake. In Webster, Berkeley Bree News 10 NBC.
RG&E says there were no equipment problems or outages in Webster on August 1st. You can watch and listen to the recorded explosions shared with us.
Okay, this is October 15th.
Just after midnight.
Friday, October 3rd.
At 2 a.m. Oh, geez, that was 2.
Yeah.
Wow.
It makes me nervous. I'm concerned. Like, what's causing it?
So did you hear that in Woodland? A big boom early this morning. For blocks, people heard and felt that explosion-like sound. This was near Riverside Drive and Ashley Avenue.
Your reporter Toya Baraka is covering Yellow County tonight. She's live from Woodland with what she's learning, and a bunch of people have questions about this story.
Yeah, pretty much every person we spoke with just wants to know what caused it. Well, a home security camera captured that strange noise and the aftermath. Watch. It started with the whistle,
like a bomb.
and then this big boom.
Yeah.
Followed with car alarm sounding
Like
off, dogs barking, and people in Woodland
rocket.
all wondering the same thing.
And
What
with
the heck was that?
a big explosion. Like you see in
it ran
the
out the windows.
It just sounded like some kind of a high firecracker or something.
I thought it was a bomb.
Not a rocket,
actually.
maybe.
What the
Bottle
5:20
rocket.
a.m. wake-up call was, still a mystery to Woodland police as well.
First thing I thought it was probably a home that exploded or something.
Woodland PD tells us it got multiple reports that someone may have shot something off in the sky. But when patrols came down to investigate, they found no damage, fires, or evidence of an explosion.
I just heard this loud whistle, and then it just went boom.
It really startled me, scared all my animals. They just ran everywhere. Some were bracing for another loud boom.
And we looked, and there was nothing after that, just a one big boom.
The loud noise popping off and perplexing people. It was kind of scary, kind of threw me off. Wondering, where did it come from? Now, police tell us that most of the calls they got came from this intersection, Ashley Avenue and Riverside Drive, but they still haven't been able to determine what caused it.
You might have heard it late last night. An unusual noise has upstate neighbors working to figure out what the source could possibly be.
Yeah, many of us heard it. Our Leah Phillips joins us live from Donaldson Center, where the mystery has been solved. Leah, what's up?
That's right, Nigel, Carol. From Travelers Rest to downtown Greenville, all the way to here at the Donaldson Center, it is the sound heard round the upstate, and it's brought up a lot of questions over the last couple of hours. And we went ahead and took a closer look at what caused it. That sound has hundreds of people on social media asking the same question. What is it, and where is it coming from?
Basically, it sounds like there's a jet engine right in your backyard.
Wow. Which isn't too far off. What neighbors are hearing is routine engine testing confirmed by Lockheed Martin.
It kind of rattles you out of bed. It's absolutely the loudest sound.
One of neighbors' main concerns was the time the testing took place, late Thursday night around 11 p.m. all the way until midnight.
It definitely is a little weird that they do it till about midnight. And I mean, a lot of people are sleeping. Like if you were closer to that area, that would get me right out of bed thinking I'm being attacked.
In a statement from Lockheed Martin, we were told tests like this late at night only occur when driven by critical operational requirements. Also stating, we appreciate the community's understanding as we carry out work that supports our national security and allied defense.
Leah, the puzzle was, why could many of us hear this when we live far away from that area?
Right. Even far away in certain chilly temperatures like this, certain weather conditions can make sound travel faster, which could have been a potential reason why we were able to hear it so far away as far as Travelers Rest.
But that's
Yeah, that loud boom and mysterious flash of light. Well, they're baffling police in New Jersey.
Yeah, so it happened around 2 a.m. Tuesday in Hopatcong out in Sussex County. Pix 11's Katie Corrado went in search of answers, and she joins us now live from police headquarters. You solved the mystery of the drones. Now we have this.
There's always something, isn't there? So Hopatcong police have said that they've ruled out any sort of reasonable explanation for this noise, and frankly, at this point, so have we.
It was
explosion,
a loud explosion. It sounded like a house blew up.
Neighbors in Hopatcong, New Jersey, startled awake around 2 a.m. Tuesday by a flash of light and deafening boom.
And we all jumped up, neighbors. I saw the lights go on and stuff like that.
It felt like something exploded. We thought it was our neighbor. It felt like it was right on top of us.
Resident Lauren Manning captured the mysterious event on her home security camera and spoke to us by phone Thursday. Husband immediately ran outside to see if anyone was hurt.
Nothing. There was no smell of any kind. There was no fire, smoke, nothing. He jumped in the car and kind of went around the block just to see if it was somewhere else. And then he ran into a police officer who was doing the same thing.
That police canvas came up empty.
They didn't find anything. There was no known damage, fire, or criminal mischief or anything of that nature.
Investigators are still no closer to identifying the cause.
Most of the time when you're dealing with an explosion in town, it'll either be fireworks, which will be very obvious, or you'd be dealing with a transformer explosion.
Nearby Picatinny Arsenal tells Pix 11 News that it does not conduct evening operations, and an inventory of its munitions found no losses. The National Weather Service says a meteorological event is not to blame. Power company JCP&L says there were no outages or electrical issues. And NASA tells Pix 11 News that there was no evidence of a meteor over New Jersey at the time of the blast.
You know, everybody's speculating. Nobody really knows.
And so this all still remains a mystery. Hopatcong police are asking anyone with additional videos or clues to let them know as they try to piece together what this was.
That's a fucking bomb. That's what that was. I'm sorry. I would be pissed off.
Now, we
if
know
I was
many
in
of
that
you in
neighborhood.
our area did feel that mysterious boom. 10 on your side's Ethan Krause spoke to some residents in Virginia Beach who felt it.
It was around 5:30 this evening when residents all along the coast reported hearing a loud
Give me a
boom,
heart attack.
followed by shaking that ranged between 1 to 6 seconds. The boom heard round the coast. Residents in the eastern cities of Hampton Roads, all the way down to Knott's Island and Corolla, all reporting the same thing.
Yeah, so I was on the couch watching the football game like everybody else, and it sounded like someone had crashed into a vehicle out here and thought it was my truck sitting out in front of the house. So of course jumped up, ran out here, and thank goodness nothing was wrong with the vehicle. So, it was loud, shook a few things, and then it was all over. So yeah.
We spoke to several residents in the Holland Pines neighborhood of Virginia Beach. Everyone who heard the boom gave similar descriptions, saying it was a loud bang on their door or windows. All who heard it say it was very sudden.
I thought it was just somebody banging at the front door. The dogs were going nuts, and they headed to the front door. And that's about it. I didn't get up to go look. I just figured the rest of the family had gone out and they were going to tell me what happened, but that was it. We'll say 6 seconds.
Some residents have taken to social media, saying they believe what happened this evening may have been an earthquake. Resident Chuck Haley says he remembers the 2011 mineral earthquake, but says the boom from this evening was nothing like that.
Yeah, that was definitely, I felt that one. I saw the high tension wires shake and things like that. But this was nothing like that. It was much more mild, about a third the length and not near as intense. Yeah, could have been a sonic boom for all I know.
Now, we've reached out to multiple sources to try and get confirmation on what this evening's boom was, as well as what caused it.
Now to Northeast Harris County, where a mysterious boom has residents there buzzing.
The loud noise shook homes and rattled nerves across several communities like Atascocita, Kingwood, Humble, Huffman, and Crosby. But so far, authorities have no answers about what caused the boom and where it came from.
Well, it's after 5, and neighbors are left with more confusion than answers about an explosion they heard this morning. Tuesday morning, a loud boom was heard in Kingwood, in Atascocita, and even in Huffman. But no one knows where it came from. Atascocita Fire says the initial call came in around 10:40 from a neighbor on Burl Oak who says he heard the sound of a loud explosion. Online, including on our Fox 26 Facebook page, many people were describing what the explosion sounded like, saying it made their house shake, sounded like someone fell off a roof, thunder, even a sonic boom. First responders with Harris County, Atascocita, and Humble are all puzzled by the mysterious noise. We spoke with neighbors who described to us what the noise sounded like.
It sounded like a bomb went off.
I heard a loud boom, which shook and rattled the windows and the house here. And I got up out of the recliner. I went out.
Shit.
And being a veteran firefighter, I looked around for smoke everywhere, which there was none.
They said it was a explosion, a gas leak. I was just
belongs in a freaking movie.
Confused.
It felt like a bigger explosion of a firecracker. One of them explosive firecrackers, and it shook me in the house.
One street, it had a whole bunch of police officers, and they were at this neighbor house because that's where the address was. And the guy at the address said that it wasn't his house. It's not here. So we just rode around looking everywhere. We still
rolling around. He ain't going nowhere in the middle of the
Now
night.
stay with us because coming up at 6, we spoke with the Atascocita Fire Department who shares more details about their investigation throughout the day. Back to you.
Well, Leslie, you did speak with a lot of neighbors there. Were you able to speak with the man who actually made this initial 911 call?
Yeah, I did. That neighbor actually lives here on Burl Oak, and he says minutes after he heard the sound, he called 911. Take a listen.
It kind of sounded like a sonic boom, if you know what one of those are. You know, when the jet goes up to 600 miles an hour and you hear that, it rattles windows and homes. A lot of people were coming out of their homes and everything and, and looking around, and then all of a sudden, because I reported it to the fire department, they come out and I said, hey, look, I just reported it. It did not happen here. And then come to find out, they put my address on everybody's web, and we've had traffic nonstop ever since.
What are you hoping for? Just to figure out where it came from?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yes, ma'am. Everybody's wondering where it happened, what happened, what blew up.
Well, that's right. The sheriff's office, the precinct 4 constable's office, as well as the fire department, they all say they don't know what caused it. But one thing is for certain, neighbors out here are pretty curious. On this quiet street in Atascocita, one man has gone from retired firefighter to the most famous man on the block.
Felt like an explosion. Yeah, just a boom.
He's still talking about it?
Yeah. It was loud, too.
Ronald Walker Sr. said instinct kicked in.
He's famous now.
Well, me being a veteran fireman, I walked outside. I looked around, case the area, looking for smoke. I didn't see any. Then I called the fire department just to report it.
After he made that call, Ronald's quiet morning was over.
Because I reported what I heard and what everybody else on the block heard, they put my address out there on the web. We've had over 100 vehicles come through here.
He wasn't exaggerating. During our interview, Carr
said that there was a big explosion over here on Pearl Oak, so we're checking it out.
After Carr,
whose house exploded?
And curious neighbors came looking for answers.
What was that, Ron?
Oh, nobody knows. It was just a loud explosion.
And Ronald kindly explaining to all of the onlookers what he knew.
That's been heard from Huffman to Humble to Kingwood, all the way down to the Beltway. It's been heard.
How do you explain that?
Truthfully, it's unexplainable because we don't know.
Although he has no answers, this day wasn't a total loss for this retired veteran. Ronald got to meet a lot of his neighbors, he shared some laughs, and for one strange morning, he became the most famous man on the block.
You're going to be the talk of the neighborhood.
He accepted his new role with a laugh and a lot of patience.
It's been one crazy day. Y'all too, dear. Thank you for stopping by.
That's scary how they put the address in the internet and look how
now Centerpoint did come out here and again they found nothing, all of mystery for everyone living in this area. Reporting live in Atascocita, Anayeli Ruiz, KHOU 11 News.
And so that mystery continues. We'll keep looking for answers, Anayeli Ruiz. Thank you.
Jason A, that's crazy. Thank you for that upload. It had a double concussion. Boom, boom. Like it was an explosion. What's causing those explosions? Nobody knows. It's like, yeah, don't believe what you heard. What you heard is not what you heard. You didn't hear anything. It was a figment of your imagination. You didn't see anything. But you got this old veteran man. Oh, yeah, there was a boom. And that's his story. Then he's sticking to it. And people are going by his house for him just to tell him the same shit. It was a boom in the sky. All right. Let's keep it moving to the last video of the night. And that's going to Jason A. So let's go ahead and set that up. And let's go ahead and watch.
Massive bird migration is happening right now, but these birds are getting exhausted and then just falling from the sky. Fox 35's Esther Bauer breaks down what you should do if you see a bird struggling.
Gannets are flying south, but getting stuck on the Space Coast.
They come from up north, like Canada and Newfoundland, and they migrate all the way down.
Down to the Gulf they go, but many are stranding themselves on our beaches instead.
A horrifying mystery in one Northern California city where residents say birds are being killed at an alarming rate. More than 50 birds have recently plummeted to the ground after perching on a specific stretch of power line in Richmond, which is northeast of San Francisco. The utility says the California Department of Fish and Wildlife evaluated the birds and found no evidence of electrocution. The Department of Fish and Wildlife believes the deaths were caused by a BB gun or a slingshot. Neighbors aren't convinced.
Feel like a BB gun doesn't make a firecracker noise. I can't fathom somebody could be that accurate all the time.
Now, regardless of what's causing the deaths, residents say they just want someone to take action.
Scientists at the Marine Mammal Center say 21 gray whales have died in the San Francisco Bay this year. It's the highest total in the last 25 years. Nearly 2 weeks ago, a 37-foot whale was found floating underneath the Richmond Long Wharf. A necropsy found the whale had likely been killed by a vessel strike. Scientists say its death was surprising because of how late in the season it was and because no whales have been spotted in the bay in nearly 2 weeks.
A grisly-looking sight appeared on Hormuz Island in Iran as what's called a blood rain turned the beaches a dramatic crimson color. No, this is not the devil's work or a horror movie set. It's the natural runoff color created from the rock and soil that make up the landscape. The island's red soil is caused by a high concentration of iron oxide, or rust, particularly the mineral hematite. When the sediment mixes with water during a rainstorm, runoff moves across the landscape and washes towards the coast, coloring both the ocean and the sandy shore an intense blood red. Some online reactions to these videos were concerned about pollution or an environmental impact, but experts say there is no ecological threat from the runoff.
The haunting visuals of blood-red water on Iran's Hormuz beach that stunned the internet and sparked prophecy fears worldwide. As rain transforms the shoreline into a deep crimson spectacle, we question, are these scenes a warning from ancient scriptures, or a striking reminder of how powerful nature and science can appear when misunderstood? Iran was drenched by welcome rains on December 10th as it battles the driest autumn in over 50 years. On Hormuz Island's Red Beach, the water turned red, giving the illusion of blood-drenched rivers. According to social media posts, the beach and the sea were awash with a bright red color. Videos and photos of the red water were splashed across social media.
I mean, is it harmful to humanity? Look at this. That was the guy that was down below. This is his video.
That's 10-pounder. 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 Probably a 13-pounder.
Unbelievable video there. New at 4, a sad situation at an Orange County lake where fish are dying off en masse. Take a look there. As you could expect, fishermen there upset by what's causing so many varieties of fish to end up dead.
As Eyewitness News reporter Rob McMillan found out, the county is now addressing public concerns about why this is happening.
For decades, people have come to Laguna Niguel Lake to escape. And for Orange County residents, it's a lot closer than San Diego, LA, or the Inland Empire.
This lake is a recreational lake for fishing, recreation, walking, hiking, biking.
But fishing enthusiast Billy Ian with Western Outdoor News says this resource for those wanting to fish is now devastated. This is what he discovered out here Monday, posting about it on social media.
That's 10-pounder. 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 Probably a 13-pounder. There's bluegill, there's catfish, there's carp, and unfortunately, the bigger fish, which are the ones that keep ecosystems going.
He says the last die-off happened in 2013, but nothing compared to this.
My whole purpose of doing this is just to bring it out to the public so that this doesn't happen again, so that there's things set in place to mitigate this, because, you know, OC Parks had a great response the very next day with about 12 employees, 3 boats, 2 canoes, a backhoe, trucks, getting all the dead fish out. But if they had spent half the resources it took to clean it up, to prevent it, we wouldn't be here right now talking about this.
So what happened? We asked 5th District Supervisor Katrina Foley.
A combination of things I think occurred. We had some aerators that were broken and that had to be fixed. And so there was a time period when they had about 6 of the aerators that were not working. And then there was some algae growth. And so that contributed to the reduction of the oxygen in the lake.
Those aerators are now working, but she still has concerns and is hosting a town hall meeting out here next month.
I am concerned about the management of the lake and taking into consideration the oxygen levels during that time period when we didn't have the aerators.
You can put catfish in here, you can put crappie, you can put bluegill, and you can put trout in here, but it's going to take years for this lake to come back to the bass fishing fishery it's known for.
It's a mystery. I think that's how we all feel, is it's inexplicable.
If what's happening along Bernhardt Avenue in Richmond is a mystery, then these are the neighborhood detectives.
It just doesn't make any sense.
Residents say what has been happening high along this power line since February just isn't adding up.
Sounded like a firecracker, and a black, I think it was a starling, just plummeted to the ground.
They say there have been more than 50 instances of birds dying along this top power line. Video from a nearby Ring camera shows the moment it happens. Listen for the loud crack. A bird then falls to the ground.
Super traumatic to see this.
Neighbors say after hanging up awareness posters like these and repeated calls to PG&E, there was little action. Came out. He told ABC7 that they reached out to the California Department of Fish and Wildlife to evaluate several of the dead birds. In a statement, PG&E said Fish and Wildlife shared that the birds show no evidence of electrocution and that their deaths were caused by trauma, potentially from a pellet or BB gun or a slingshot.
But I feel like a BB gun doesn't make firecracker noise.
And I can't fathom somebody could be that accurate all the time.
PG&E also said they do not believe that there was an issue with our electrical equipment and agrees that these birds were not electrocuted.
I know where the sound is coming from, and it's coming from up on the pole.
That particular wire does sizzle and arc at times.
We reached out to the Department of Fish and Wildlife, who confirmed PG&E's statement, but reiterated the cause of death was not clear. For the residents along Barnhard, whatever the cause, something needs to be done sooner than later.
We just want it solved, like at the end of the day.
So you're worried about the birds. It's understandable. It's understandable. I mean, I'm worried about the weather. So let's take a look here at some weather. Let's listen in.
And that would lead to a heavy, wetter snow. All right, so a check of First Alert live radar, and you can see across the state these deeper shades of blue correlating to those waves of moderate to heavy snow moving through. Again, snowfall rates in excess of 1 inch an hour, perhaps as much as 2 inches an hour. So a little bit wider view here. Take it back a little bit closer look here at home. You can see the snow overspreading Connecticut. Looks like we may get a little bit of a lull here. We've got a break in the action coming in from northern parts of New Jersey and the lower Hudson Valley of New York. So we'll be monitoring that. No, for the New York City metro area, there's been a little mixing, some icing there to where the snowfall totals may not be as great as what we may see across parts of western Connecticut. So a little bit wider view here. Got the system moving through the northeast. Okay. First Alert Futurecast, as we head past midnight toward daybreak tomorrow, you can see how the snow really breaks up in coverage and also in intensity, becoming more scattered, if not isolated in nature as we head towards 7 o'clock. So big time improvement as you get up and start the day tomorrow. And by, say, late morning, early afternoon, we could see some partial clearing at least, turning brighter as the afternoon progresses. So for tomorrow morning, if you start your Saturday wanting to go out and do perhaps a little shoveling or plowing.
Here we go.
Snow removal of some sort.
Get your checklist.
Because temps will still be in the 20s statewide. So
so dress well.
Dress in layers.
Put gloves.
The scarf, the gloves, the hat, certainly a necessity. And again, the shovel.
And a shovel.
For sure. Maybe doing some snow blowing too. All right. So our snowfall forecast, 4 to 6
I'm
inches.
definitely going to be seeing about 10 inches tonight.
Hartford Metro south along 91 and for much of the Connecticut shoreline. That sweet spot, that bullseye of greater totals, Western Connecticut, 8 to 12 inches. For
Let me go look outside,
County,
see where
Western
how it is.
County, inland portions of Fairfield County. So that's where we've already seen upwards of half a foot of snow, and we could see totals close in on 10 to 12 inches by the time everything wraps up. So we'll take you on a little tour here across Connecticut from our iCams, Windsor Locks. At 18 degrees, northeast wind at 3 miles an hour. Visibility improving a little bit here from Torrington, at least compared to other locations, and from Waterbury. Little deceiving because we've got snowflakes covering part of the Camerlands, obscuring the view just a little bit, but otherwise 19 in the Brass City. There's our view from Hartford, where you can see a little bit here, the top of the Travelers Tower. Can I do interactive on here? Let's see. Top of the Travelers Tower, you can see the gold building. Typically, from this vantage point, you can see the old State House, and beyond that, the Connecticut Science Center. Beyond that, the Connecticut River Valley. But not the case tonight, given the snow that is coming down, and that is reducing that visibility. There's the view from Rocky Hill, looking out across an office park right now. So not a whole lot happening in the town of Rocky Hill. From Middletown, snow coming down from New Haven, covering the green in the Elm City. Got the Christmas tree all aglow, certainly festive there. You can see the menorah beyond the Christmas tree. So snow covering the green. We've got snow cover really all across Connecticut now. From Old Saybrook, a little bit of a breeze along the shoreline, but again, the wind is not going to be a major factor with this with the winter storm Abraham. And 21 right now, looking live from New London. A little bit out of focus, but a car heading toward the camera at this point. So, and look at that, the snow coming down, captured nicely from our view there in Mystic. So visibility has dropped down to around a quarter of a mile for many spots as we head past midnight and toward daybreak tomorrow. The snow again tapering off. You can see the visibility improving big time as we head toward 5-6 o'clock in the morning. So on our first alert 7-day forecast, some snow showers linger into very early tomorrow morning. Then we'll see some clearing through the afternoon, at least some rays of sunshine. And then as we get into Sunday, late in the day, tracking another system that basically takes a track that is a warm one relative to Connecticut. So it could start off as a little icy mix, goes over to rain. So here's first alert futurecast. We'll look at tomorrow afternoon, get some clearing gets underway. And then as we get into early Sunday morning, we'll start off with some sunshine.
I'm going to go outside real quick to measure the snow. So you guys watch this and
until after sunset. And then
you see what's going to happen here in Connecticut.
Connecticut, that correlates to that chance for
I'll be right back.
Icy mix as temperatures at the surface.
I'm going to go take a measurement of the snow.
Some warmer air aloft moving in. So that's
I got to measure the snow. I got to go measure it. So
it's a pretty small window of time.
You guys can watch this and let me go measure it. I'll take some video and then possibly I'll put it a part of the show
into Monday morning,
at the end,
into Monday afternoon.
I'll be back.
Monday temperatures head into the 40s. So some temperature swings ahead over the coming days. So Sunday again, late, we've got that mix going over to rain on Monday, highs Monday in the mid 40s, and then some colder air arrives for Tuesday. Temps likely remain below freezing. Then we've got the wind on Tuesday that will make that cold air feel even colder. And then for Wednesday, 30-35, not as windy as we close out 2025 and kick off 2026 on Thursday. We do so with temps between 30 and 35. So first night celebrations, no big issues for us here in Connecticut Wednesday night. And then for Friday, a week from now, forecasting highs only in the mid and upper 20s under a mix of sun and clouds. So today, going into today, prior to any flakes reaching the ground, here's the latest on the snow situation for our climate reporting stations. The Hartford area, only 4.1 inches so far this season, surprisingly surpassed by Bridgeport at 4.5 inches. And our deficits, again, this is before any snow fell today. We're at a half a foot deficit for the Hartford area and just over half an inch behind compared to average to date for Bridgeport. So with what is coming down now from Winter Storm Abraham will likely wipe away the deficits and flip to a surplus heading into this final weekend of 2025. So a sizable amount of snow on the way for us. Snowfall rates 1 to 2 inches an hour, reducing visibility. That snow really adding up quickly. And I'll take you back here to first alert radar, and you can see the snow continuing to push from west to east across Connecticut. pause point on the beginning of this graphic. There we go, a little bit better here. So, all right. So we're here streaming on WFSB Plus. We're going to be on for probably another 30 minutes or so. Tyler Hughes is going to pop in, take the reins. Oh, we've got some new info. Love some new info. I am ready. I will let you take the seat.
7.3 inches.
Oh, where
in I believe it was New Preston. Let me double check.
That's excellent.
Let's see if we have that graphic here. This is what I've been working on behind the scenes, is trying to pull in the latest data so that we can update you and let you know. Here we go. So that New Preston one is now 7.3.
Wow.
But the rest of these are accurate. So New Fairfield, 7 inches, Woodbury Center, Waterbury, 6.5 inches, Madison, 6 inches, even Meriden, 5 inches of snow, which is very impressive. So while Mark was talking, this is what I've been doing behind the scenes, is kind of populating some of the latest snowfall totals that we just get in. We continue to get in, and they come from all sorts of sources. I mean, we have folks at the National Weather Service, there's trained spotters through the Skywarn network, and cooperative observers as well. And so they're coming from all over the place, and we are getting more and more observations in quite literally all the time.
I guess now would be a good time to talk about how to properly measure snow.
That would be a good time to
we would love to hear from anyone that is anyone that's watching us here on the stream.
Yes.
If you want to do your own measurements,
yes,
we always encourage that.
Mm-hmm.
You need to take 3, right? 3 measurements.
3 measurements, flat surface.
Yep.
Make sure that you haven't cleared it off since it started snowing, and it also needs to be, I forget the exact distance, but a good distance away from a building, a structure, a tree, anything like that. Yeah. So
and then take the average of the 3.
Yeah, take the average of the 3 and send it in.
Let us know. So weather3@wfsb.com is a way to reach us via email. But you can also, if you have pictures that you want to take and share those, you can do so from the free WFSB First Alert Weather app, or if you have our news app, I believe you can also do it that way.
Or you can also send them to us, weather3@wfsb.com.
We make it easy. Whatever's convenient for you,
we'll make it work.
Yeah.
But why don't you actually, while I'm doing this, look and see if we've gotten any viewer photos in from the app.
Idea. Yeah.
So anyway, we'll kind of reset here and get you the latest updates of what you need to know here of what's going on. Of course, there's a winter storm warning in effect pretty much the entire state right now, and for fairly obvious reasons. I mean, we've seen this began to ramp up around 5 or 6 o'clock at the earliest in the far southwest portions of Connecticut. Really began to ramp up between about 6 o'clock and 7 o'clock, 6-7 for your kids out there. And so it's really been within the last 3 to 4 hours that we've seen these amounts falling. Again, 7 inches of snow or more in some places. So while we're at it, let's take a look here. Let's go back to First Alert Live Doppler radar, and let's take a look at what is going on, because there are some heavier bands of snow moving through, but also there's some areas that, things appear to be lightening up right now. And we'll use this as an example. Right down in here in southwestern parts of Fairfield County, Norwalk through Stamford, that's where we're seeing things beginning to lighten up just a little bit. I'm going to put a pause on First Alert Live Doppler radar right now. We're actually going to just go to the latest radar image, so you can see the returns that are coming directly from First Alert Live Doppler radar. So this is the latest data we have in from our radar, which of course is the state's only live Doppler radar, and it is located out at Bradley Airport. So let's take a look and see what we have to see here. At first glance, it looks like a lot of blue, because it is, right? It's showing where the snow is. But if we zoom, look a little closer, you can see some of the bands of heavier snow and where they are. So here's one really good example right here. Enfield through Tolland and extending down into Windham. That's one of the bands of heavier snow that we're seeing at the moment. There's another one, it looks like maybe a little bit less heavy of a band, but Hartford through Norwich about. And there's another band in the New Haven area, or just leaving the New Haven area right now as well. Now, these are moving off to the north and east. We can put a little bit of a lapse on it like we were doing earlier. let's say over the last half an hour or so, and we can play this out. And so if you see where the heaviest bands of snow are, and remember, you can always look up First Alert Live Doppler Radar. We are streaming the feed live, whether it is raining, snowing, sleeting, or nothing at all, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on WFSB.com and the free First Alert weather app. You can track First Alert Live Doppler Radar anytime. And so if you can see that it's moving sort of to the east-northeast here, you can time out where the heaviest of the bands are moving to. And they're moving sort of in that direction. Pardon my my crude arrow there. But that also means that this pocket of potentially drier air here is also going to be moving in that direction over the next few minutes or so. And we will see how that turns out. We'll take a little bit of a wider look at radar here. Let's pull up a bit of a wider view of the radar. Now, this is over the last 6 hours, but you can still see that pocket of drier air working in right about there. And this is what we call the dry slot of the area of low pressure. And where this dry slot kind of works in, we'll zoom all the way out here so I can annotate. There's my annotation tools. This is the dry slot right in here. This is an area of dry air that gets kind of wrapped up into the low pressure. So that area of dry air is heading into the New York metro area right now. And so that was what we saw on First Alert Live Doppler Radar working into southwest Fairfield County, that area of dry air. And so that means you may see the snow slow down or even temporarily stop in those areas. But throughout most of Connecticut right now, the snow is continuing to be ongoing and heavy at times. So let's go back through some of our cameras we have here. These are some of our traffic cameras. Notice Bridge or Greenwich, for example. Stamford. It looks like the snow is at least slowing down a little bit. You can tell because visibility has improved slightly. There is still accumulation going on the roads, but that's a sign that the drier air is starting to work in there a little bit. Meanwhile, in Bridgeport, it still looks like it's snowing there pretty good. You see people with their hazards on trying to slow down on the highway. And if you have to be out on the roads right now, our suggestion, of course, would be to do the same. Slow down, leave as much extra time as you can, because this is obviously when you have snow that comes down at such a significant rate. I mean, 2, even close to 3 inches per hour in some places. This is can really inundate the roadways, and you know, people, plow trucks can have the greatest handle on things, but still with snowfall rates like that, you're going to get some accumulation on even treated roadways. We'll take to some more traffic cameras here. Danbury, I-84, looks like traffic is moving along there fairly well, but you can see the accumulation on the road. Same thing in Waterbury. I'm not seeing any pavement there on our traffic camera in Waterbury. That's in the top left corner of your screen. Hartford, I-91 southbound, same thing. I'm not seeing much pavement there. That's a lot of accumulation going on there. And Tolland camera looks like has something going on with it, so we won't look at that just right now. We can also click through some of our iCams here. So here's Windsor Locks. I mean, normally you can see the airport on this camera, and you can't see much aside from maybe one blinking light. If you're a frequent watcher of Channel 3, when we show this camera out at Windsor Locks, this is sort of just beyond the trees here is the apron where the cargo aircraft park. So usually there's like a FedEx jet or two parked there. And then just beyond that is one of the runways at Bradley Airport. A lot of times we can see planes lining up to take off or something like that. But you can tell that visibility there has been reduced quite a bit. And sure enough, we go back to First Alert Live Doppler Radar here. You can see one of the heavier bands of snow is moving over the vicinity of Windsor Locks right now. We'll go to Torrington, where it looks like visibility is slightly better there, but you can still see lots of snow there on the ground. What I'm interested to see is our iCam in New Haven, for example. The visibility is not bad across the green there. but there's still lots of snow on the ground. Middletown, though, Middletown, it is actively snowing, and it is actively snowing hard. And you're seeing that in reduced visibility. So we'll take a look at, if I can spell visibility in the search window, we'll take a look at the visibility map. And you see some places are better than others, but pretty much across the board right now, visibility is down below a mile. The only place where it's really, and look, it even went down below a mile in Danbury just now to 3/4 of a mile. So visibility continues to reduce as we get these heavier bands of snow that move through. And of course, when you combine that with the slick roadways and things like that, that is what can make for some treacherous travel conditions. So what we've kind of been saying all evening, especially after 9 o'clock, when some of these heavier bands of snow are moving in, if you don't have to be out on the roadways, your best bet is to settle in and watch us and stream us at home. If you don't have to do any travel. And of course, if you do have to do any travel, take it slow, leave extra space between you and the car in front of you. We know how to drive in the snow, right? Here in Connecticut. So here's our snowfall forecast. This has evolved over the last 24 to 48 hours fairly significantly because the track of the area of low pressure shifted northward. Originally, it looked like this, 8 to 12 bullseye that you see on your screen was going to be more over the New York metro area. But once we get closer and closer to an event, we get more of this high resolution model guidance in, and it shows the track shifting northward for the reason that you just saw on satellite radar. And that is, if we zoom out here, I'll show you once again that area of dry air working into northern New Jersey and the New York metro area. And so that's what was sort of getting picked up on the high resolution guidance over the last 24 to 48 hours. And the shift of the highest snowfall totals moved north. So 8 to 12 inches across much of western Connecticut. Along the 91 corridor, 6 to 8 inches of snow, Hartford through New Haven, and along the shoreline, 4 to 6 inches of snow the farther west you get. And then it's only once you get to maybe the far north, I said the more northwest you get, the more northeast you get in the state is 4 to 6. The far northeastern corner of Windham County, we have in the 2 to 4, but 2 to 4 inches is mainly Rhode Island through southeastern Massachusetts. So let's step through the timeline of the hours to come here on First Alert Futurecast. We can show you exactly what to expect over the next few hours as you look out your window. 11 p.m. Snow is still ongoing, and we'll be tracking it for you here on Eyewitness News at 10 and 11. We will have live reports. But overnight, once we get past 1 to 2 a.m., notice the heaviest of the snow moves out. Things begin to lighten up a bit. We get more dry air in the mix. We begin to see the snow showers start to dissipate. This is going to be key heading toward 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. As this storm pulls away, things lighten up, and the activity will really lighten up around sunrise. So by the time you wake up tomorrow, the vast majority of the snow will have already fallen, aside from maybe a few isolated snow showers. And then we'll see some peaks of sunshine even by tomorrow afternoon. So not looking too bad tomorrow afternoon, and for the first part of the day on Sunday as well. So as a reminder, the biggest impacts with Winter Storm Abraham overnight tonight will be the heavy snow, poor visibility, and hazardous travel. But one thing we're a bit less concerned about is power outages. And that's because the wind gusts are actually not as much of a concern right now. The wind gusts really aren't going to be a huge deal with this storm. And in addition, because this is the light sort of fluffy snow, as opposed to the heavy wet snow, that actually helps us in that it reduces the power outage risk. So I'm actually going to check right now because I'm curious, and this is the fun of being on the live stream, is if we're curious about something, we can just go check on it for you. I can't share my screen, so you'll have to believe me when I say this, but Eversource right now says only about 177 customers in Connecticut are affected by power outages, which is good news because And that's because the wind gusts aren't that bad and the snow is the light fluffy snow. And we talk about, light fluffy snow versus heavy wet snow. And we were doing explainers on this earlier on. What exactly does that mean? How can we tell as meteorologists what is heavy wet snow versus light fluffy snow? What does that mean? It has to do with something called a snow to liquid ratio, or we affectionately call it the fluff factor. And I want you to picture this. You take a certain amount of the snow that's fallen in your backyard just now, and you take it inside your house in a glass of water or whatever, and you melt it down. Scoop it. I mean, you can try this right now. If you have an empty cup in your house, scoop some snow and melt it down. And you will see that it melts down to a lot less than the actual amount of snow that you got, right? So, and there's ways of doing this properly to get a proper measurement. But in general, if the temperature were around 30 degrees, if you were to melt down 10 inches of snow, you'd get about an inch of liquid water. In other words, if it were warmer and we were looking at a rain event, it would be about an inch of rain as opposed to 10 inches of snow. Again, that's if the temperature is around 30 degrees. If it gets any warmer than that, you get a heavier, wetter snow. And look at on the bottom, you can see the corresponding weights here. Typical snow weighs about 10 pounds for every cubic foot. Wet snow weighs about 20 pounds per cubic foot. That can cause a huge amount of stress on the power lines, the power poles, the tree limbs. And a lot of times those type of storms come with a lot of wind too. And that's just not good news in terms of power outages, trees down, things like that. But that's not what we're dealing with today. What we're dealing with today is temperatures in the 20s, closer to this 18 degrees. Okay. So look at the 18 degrees on your left-hand side. If you were to take and melt down to get 1 inch of water, you would need 20 inches of snow to melt to get 1 inch of water. That's the drier snow, the light fluffy stuff we call it. That only weighs about 3 pounds per cubic foot. And so that's why we're not seeing as much of an impact with Winter Storm Abraham as we are maybe a different storm where the temperatures were closer to freezing. And speaking of temperatures, you want to take, you don't have to take my word for it. I'll show you. Temperatures are in the teens out there right now. I said it was a bit warmer. I was speaking off of old data. It is 18 in Windsor Locks. It is 18 in Tolland. It's even cooler than that up through Litchfield County right now. And we're even sitting in the 20s along the shoreline where it's a bit warmer. So across the board, we are well below freezing. And these are the type of conditions that lend themselves more to the light, fluffy snow. One side effect of the light, fluffy snow is it also inflates the snowfall totals a little bit. And so that's why another reason why totals have come up over the last 24 hours or so. So again, we have a proud tradition here at Channel 3 of naming winter storms. We've been doing so since all the way back in 1971 when we were the Travelers Weather Service. The meteorologists worked for both Travelers, the insurance company, and Channel 3, putting those forecasts out on television. And they started naming winter storms. For most of Connecticut, we need at least 6 inches of snow for most of the state to be considered a named winter storm. The other option is half an inch or more of ice accretion for most of Connecticut. And we're not dealing with any ice with this storm, thank goodness, because obviously that can cause a whole, talk about power outage risk with ice. And so this is the first named storm of the season, Winter Storm Abraham. As Mark mentioned, we've had a number of name themes over the years. I mean, everything from popular music artists to trees to birds to first ladies. So lots of different fun names. And we thought it would be fun this year. It was actually, credit to Mike Slifer, it was his idea, that we would do winter storm names based off of presidents. And so our 2025-2026 winter storm names are the first names of presidents, of course, because coming up in July of 2026 is the 250th birthday of our nation. So Winter Storm Abraham, of course, for President Lincoln. The next storm we have would be Winter Storm Benjamin for Benjamin Harrison. Then Winter Storm Calvin for Calvin Coolidge, and Winter Storm Dwight for Dwight D. Eisenhower. So It's a fun tradition we have here at Channel 3, and this is the first one of the season. So we'll see how far we get in this list. If we get past 4, we may need to add more names. Hopefully, knock on wood, that we don't get past 4 storms that bring 6 inches or more of snowfall to the state. So we'll take another look at some live cameras right now. I showed this quad box earlier on. Let's go to Old Saybrook. Now, seeing a bit of a breeze there, but nothing too bad. Notice the winds have sort of picked up a little bit along the shoreline. Nothing too bad, but the visibility is down. Here's New Haven once again, the Christmas tree there. Here's our Hartford ICAM. You can see visibility is down there as well. So the snow is moving through, and we will continue to keep you updated, of course, on air and online. We're going to keep this stream going for a little while, and we will also have reports coming up on our newscasts at 10 and 11. For now, I'd like to welcome back Chief Meteorologist Mark Dixon.
Here we go.
And we have
And me.
information.
Yeah, so
And Rick, I'm back. I got the
10
videos.
o'clock and 11 o'clock newscast.
I'm working on some edits.
Again, you guys have anything you want to share with us? weather3@wfsb.com is the email address, or through the weather app. You can send those pictures. Now, I know you had some totals. You mentioned 7.5 from New Milford.
Yep.
6.5 Meriden, as well as from Waterbury. 6-inch totals coming in from Southington, Madison, and Guilford.
I got 7 inches in my area.
These really fell in the span of what, 4 hours?
Yeah, that's impressive.
So, I mean, just take the average of that. That's more than an inch an hour in all of these places. And that doesn't even account for the instantaneous snow bands that could be even more than that, 2, even close to 3 inches per hour.
And I think you maybe talked about this a little bit of a dry slot to our west.
Yeah, a little bit of a dry slot to our south and to our west.
Yeah, so that could fill in a little bit. So as it slides eastward, there's plenty of snow still upstream, south of the Capital District of New York. So
yeah,
it looks, you're looking at this map perhaps from your device thinking, okay, this isn't going to last much longer, but not really the case.
No,
we have more time to go. So we may see it taper off a little bit, but then fill back in. But it's not until after midnight that we'll really start to see any sort of like market decrease in coverage and intensity of any sort of like meaningful nature. All right, so it is now 9:36. In case you're joining us here on WFSB Plus, also on our YouTube channel. Thank you so much for checking us out, keeping you up to date here on Winter Storm Abraham. Our first major statewide plowable event of the 2025-26 winter season. Yeah. Here it is, a little post-Christmas, pre-New Year event for us. And coming up, we've got another event. Did you talk about Sunday night at all?
I did not talk about Sunday.
All right. Oh, we can talk about Sunday night here in just a moment. So, no, Tyler went through some of these quad boxes, but they really tell quite a story. All of these are from Fairfield County, so all on 95. So showing the snow-covered roads. Fortunately, it looks like everyone is heeding the advice and traveling at least slowly. Doesn't seem to be any sort of major backups due to any sort of accidents, at least from these vantage points. So we'll take you elsewhere across Connecticut, and these are farther inland now. We've got Waterbury, upper left-hand corner. Fortunately, not a lot of volume there. Same from Danbury along 84, farther west from Waterbury. And then we've got 91 south there in Hartford. So all of those, all of the lanes certainly covered in snow. Visibility has improved a little bit. And then even Tolland there, you can see on 84 up near exit 68, we've got snow-covered roads. So snow statewide. And that snow really adding up again in some locations. And the snow certainly reducing visibility when it's coming down at that quicker pace. So certainly less than 1 mile visibility almost statewide. The exception's Putnam as the heaviest of the snow just now beginning to work into that corner of the state. And look at these temperatures. Tyler was just talking about this, the cold air, the dryness of the air, allowing for that large ratio, liquid to snow ratio. So the big fluff factor. So again, a couple silver linings to this winter storm. We don't have a whole lot of wind to contend with. And furthermore, when it comes to snow removal tomorrow morning, it's not the heavy, wet snow. This is light and fluffier snow. And I check a first alert live radar. And we've got this lapsing I believe this is 30 minutes, showing the progression of those deeper blues pivoting into eastern and central Connecticut, away from western Connecticut. But again, snow will fill back in after perhaps a little bit of a lull, a little dry slot there, heading into the lower Hudson Valley of New York. So first alert futurecast, as we head toward midnight, you can see in toward daybreak tomorrow how any steady statewide snow tapers to lighter, scattered, if not isolated showers around 7 o'clock in the morning. And then after that, we'll see some at least partial clearing through the course of the afternoon. So early tomorrow morning, you'll need the winter coat because temps will still be in the 20s. The gloves, the hat, the scarves, layer up to do your snow removal, and maybe take a couple turns at doing that, just depend upon how much snow you have to remove. The greatest totals likely, again, realized across western Connecticut, where we're already getting some pretty impressive totals. New Milford there along Route 7 in the New York border, 7.5 inches so far already. So these totals will continue to go up a little bit more as we head through this evening. So while this is all snow for us tonight, this active weather pattern continues, getting to first alert futurecast here, a little bit wider view to talk about what's going to happen later this weekend. By tomorrow afternoon, we'll see some partial clearing and temperatures top out near 30, if not low 30s. As we get into Sunday, we'll start off dry and bright. Cloud cover increases later in the day. We're dry through the daylight hours, but it's what happens thereafter, say between 7 and 11. We're going to have some cold air at the surface and some milder air working in a loft with this upcoming storm system that essentially is going to be taking a mild track relative to Connecticut. It's just at the onset, there could be a little icy mix. You can see there between 7 and 11. And then thereafter, trending a little bit milder. And on Monday, we've got several waves of rain, but temperatures on Monday that head into the 40s. So we'll show you that first alert 7-day forecast, in fact, right now. So tomorrow morning, lingering isolated snow showers will be wrapping up. And then later Sunday, so a little window of time as one system exits and our next one arrives. But this next one will be kind of an icy mix to begin and then go over to rain later in the day. And then it's got rain on Monday, highs in the 40s. And look at Tuesday, we're back sub-freezing. So some pretty notable swings in temperature because not only will the air temp be at least 15 degrees colder Tuesday compared to Monday, but when you factor in the wind on Tuesday, it will feel even colder. Wednesday, we close out 2025. We do so on a quiet note. The wind subsides a bit, highs 30 to 35. And then we kick off 2026 on Thursday with highs in the low and mid 30s. And then by a week from now, next Friday, forecasting highs back in the mid and upper 20s. All right, the WFSB First Alert Weather app, if you don't have that, it is certainly a great resource. So in a situation like today, you can track on the interactive radar snow as it overspreads Connecticut. You can get hour-by-hour forecasts, updated video forecasts from us here at Channel 3, and as well any sort of alerts that are issued for your location. If it is a winter weather advisory, if it's a winter storm warning.
Speaking of the app, by the way,
yes,
a great app to download, not just the First Alert Weather app, but our own Channel 3 app. Just into our newsroom, around 15 cars involved in pileup due to weather in Waterbury.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
so we're already
Waterbury.
to see some of the impacts there. And what was the report from Waterbury? 6 inches?
6 inches in Waterbury.
Yeah.
So this is just one camera.
That means
view,
crashes.
but, this is 84 westbound at Chase Parkway, upper left-hand corner. So obviously not captured
Even
here.
the highways, which are usually treated very well. I mean, the roads are covered in snow there. So you can only imagine maybe what the secondary roads are looking like.
Yeah.
Really bad.
Secondary, I mean, getting on and off exit ramps, entrance.
They
exit
told you
ramps,
to travel
interstates,
early.
Secondary, tertiary roads. So
I
I'm
traveled early.
wondering, because we're not seeing any traffic go in one direction, if it's on the other side of the accident.
Oh, I'm wondering.
That we're looking at from 84. So yeah, is it 15 car?
15 car pileup was what
15 car pileup. That
I'm
means
going
15
to
cars
click
crashed.
that. I'm going to tap that and see
15 car
if we can get some
pileup.
more from this.
just another reason to download the
In
First
Waterbury.
Alert Weather
They
app
crashed
and
in
our
Waterbury.
Channel 3 app.
Yeah, so this happened about 2 hours
Oh.
ago to the area of Wall Street and Crosby Street. 2 people transported to the hospital. No injuries reported. Snow and steep hill on Water Street were contributing factors to the
Okay.
pileup.
So we got another update.
Okay.
Katie Cohen, a reporter and a photojournalist, are there right now, and they say the scene is clear.
Okay.
Okay, great.
So good.
Hopefully,
good news there.
No or minimal injuries as a result, but still something scary to see. And it just goes to show you how, when conditions deteriorate quickly like this, and travel conditions deteriorate, this is what can result, unfortunately.
All right, so I think this is a good time to take a break. We're going to regroup. We've got eyewitness news at 10 o'clock on the wax coming up.
There's a lot of cars
Just got
there.
a new update here in that upper left-hand corner, westbound 84.
Yeah, the car's stuck.
Highland
Right
Street
here.
overpass. You can see again that car trying to get onto 84.
There's a car
Couple
stuck.
Looks like there's some kind of flashing lights off in the distance there. I don't know if that's emergency vehicles or.
And like there's a stranded car on the right side too. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just, not a good time to be out on our roads if they're even the main thoroughfares. Certainly snow.
Only if you have to.
All right, so we'll regroup right now. We'll take a break. We'll see you for eyewitness news at 10 o'clock on the wax.
All right, so let's bring it back to me, my mind over your matter, because it's all about me. No, but I did go outside and got some video. So now that I'm going to be wrapping up the show, you'll be able to see the video. So stay tuned to the end, and you'll see some snowfall and the accumulation. I'm very surprised in how quick this snowfall. Like, it's only been 3 hours. It's only been 3 hours, right, since the snowfall, and we got 7 inches of snow in my area. So yeah, people need to slow down when driving in the snow. People think that like these conditions are super safe, and they're not, because it doesn't matter what tires you have, you will slide. And you don't want to hit anyone and cause someone to lose their life. A 15 car pileup is pretty big, okay? But they were able to clear out the scene, so that's great. I'm happy nobody died. Great. But you only should be out if there's an emergency or if you're coming home from work. Those are the only excuses that, is acceptable, that you just got out of work and you're trying to get home. That is understandable. Or you're trying to get to work. That's also understandable. But if you're just going to be out and about and you think, we're just going to go all around and we're going to go sledding now. It's not a good time right now to go sledding. It is good time, to be honest with you, it is. Because the nighttime sledding, I think, is the best. I remember when I was little and they used to take us sledding and at night. And oh my God, it was so scary, but it was so fun. And yeah, we'll go fast. Used to love it. Now I can't do that. With my neck, yeah, right. Got a fucking broken neck. What the fuck am I going to be doing sledding? You crazy? You want me to be paralyzed? Not good. Not good at all. But definitely going to be wrapping up the show in a bit. I got some medicine here to smoke. And I'm not going to end the show without me finishing my medicine. So I guess it's going to be our intimate moment with the chat. Hey, Terry. How much snow you got? Do you have the measuring tape over with you? Did you measure how much snow you got so far? So far, I got 7 inches, and I can prove it. At the end of the show, when I'm wrapping up, I turn off the lights because I'm already done with it. And plus, I gotta do a video. I gotta open up a Pokemon pack. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. That is what I'm gonna be doing. Gonna be opening up a Pokemon pack. that I got from Terry. He hooked it up from Walgreens, you know. Send them the money, boom, got it for me. He hooked it up. 11 packs of Phantasmal Flames, Pokemon, and I'm gonna be opening one. And I'm kind of doing it like the ASMR. Have you ever heard of that? The ASMR. I don't talk. I just with my hands. I open up the package, and then I open up the pack, and you hear the rip of the pack. People love that sound. That sound is like so. It gives them a like this. It's something about the sound, right? And I think a lot of people are watching my channel because of that. So I'm gonna continue doing it. I'm gonna open up at least a pack a day until Christmas. Until next Christmas, I'm gonna have to open up a pack a day. I'm gonna have to find more packs. It's like Rick's gonna have to find more packs. He needs 365 packs. Like holy shit, that's a lot. It's like yeah, boy, I spread it out through the month. If I don't think I'm gonna do that, man. That's a lot of packs. Imagine that's $5 a day. Train of Truth is outside honking its horn. He's like, you damn right, it's a fucking lot of money. But I want to do it to have a good binder because I'm gonna buy myself a binder. I'm gonna get I saw one on Amazon, 1,000 card binder where I can load the cards from the side. I love loading from the side. I don't like loading from the top. For some reason, I don't like the top. I like it like slide it through. So I'm investing in a binder and I'm gonna do a set. I'm gonna see what I can collect and form some kind of set, and maybe it has some value. Maybe I get lucky and I hit something good, and I'll be very happy. It's not for me. It's for my niece. My niece is too little. She's only 4 years old. She don't know what the fuck Pokemon is. She doesn't know. I'm sorry. She's only 4. She's gonna be 5 next year. So her uncle is gonna be collecting Pokemon for her. And next year in February is Pokemon 30-year anniversary. Yay! Now, what am I gonna do? Well, whatever promotions I know they're gonna have some stuff. I don't know if I want to shop at GameStop because I heard they're pretty expensive in there. I'm not trying to be ripped off by GameStop, but I gotta see what they have and what I can get and do an opening for the 30-year anniversary of Pokemon. But I want to do it like the ASMR. And just having the sounds of the pack and shuffling, like pulling, like separating the card to display the next card. I think it's pretty relaxing for me too, and a lot of people are digging it. A lot of people are watching it, and that's the point, get people to watch. I gotta lure them one way or another. Gotta use Pokemon to lure them into my lair. Nah, man, I did this to myself because it's kind of like when you I put a curse on you, and now you're mine. No, I kind of like told myself that I didn't want to be popular. I didn't want to have a big channel. I would like to have a small audience. I said that in the very beginning when I started this YouTube life, and it's been gradually just steady, and the magic of me just putting that out to the universe, and the universe is listening to me and not making me into some kind of like YouTuber, like big time YouTuber. It can happen, but do I want to? Not really. I kind of like the quietness. The quietness is nice. But we got a good amount of snow here, and tomorrow will be interesting for sure. Gotta see how we're gonna figure this out. I hope I think it's just stop around 1 or 2 in the morning. I think it's supposed to stop the snow. And if that does happen, that'd be great. But if we get another like feeder band or something like hard coming through, which I think that's what's gonna happen. Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. Well, we'll enjoy it no matter what. I said I wanted snow for Christmas, right? Santa was like, listen, Rick, I'll bring it to you. Everything's been fucked up this year. Even the gifts that you wanted to give your niece, they canceled them. Amazon canceled it. And you were like, you're in the race of time and wanted to get these gifts delivered before Christmas. And I did a great job and reordering and getting it done there at that end time. And that's one thing for next year. It's like try to do things in time. Next year is going to be a very big year for us, for humanity, actually. But we'll see what happens. I'll talk more about it once we get to the new year. Give out my predictions. Sliding from the top can damage the cards. Yeah. You know, that's what I was saying. It was like, how much is yours? 5.5 inches outside my front door. Damn, that's what's up. Just outside your front door. I think you have to go a little bit more. I think it's more than 5.5 inches in your area. You have to be about like 6 inches. We got 7, and it's still coming down. That's when I went outside, and it was still coming. I was like, damn. That's what's up. It's been a while since we had snow like this. It's been years. We haven't. I don't think we have seen snow like this. Man, it's been a good long time. I can't compare it to 2012. 2012 was fucking crazy. That year was so crazy. We had like back to back to back to back to back, like systems and clippers, like Alberta clippers, and they were just dumping snow on top of us. It was like it felt like a mountain. It paralyzed Boston. Everything was all paralyzed. My car was buried. I couldn't find my car. I was like, it's a red car, right? You couldn't find it. And there's pictures somewhere that I have that picture that you can't see the car. The car is like, it's covered in snow. It's crazy. It was that high. 2012 was a wild year for snow. Is it going to be like that this year? I mean, anything can happen, especially with all the energy that this planet has been absorbing from all the solar flares and all the energy from within the universe also. we're in it for a wild times. Like more tornadic, more deaths, very strong tornadoes. Like the planet's moving a little bit fast, a little bit too fast. I don't know if you guys feel it, but I feel it like it's moving a little bit too fast for me. I feel like just a little off because the planet's moving a little too fast. So I'm feeling it. But I had a great time today. Went up and visited Terry and Kayla and had a pizza, half cheese, half bacon, and a couple of wings and some drinks. And we had a great time. It was good. Good company, great talk, over a great meal. It was fun. I had a really good time and a nice little area. It was very little peaceful area. And I like that. I like the peacefulness there. And the Walgreens was like a little thing. It was like so hidden and so cute. It was very unique. I like that. It has character, that shows character. And very unique little town. And the drive there was very beautiful. It was a very beautiful drive. I was like, man, it was so tranquil. I was so in peace while I was driving. Because you're within nature. You're driving and you see all like the countryside of Connecticut, and it's so beautiful. I was like, man, these people live out here. I wonder how it would be to live out here and how these people like have the mind to think, yeah, I want to live here and settle their roots where it's like super beautiful. Like there was this one house I saw had the most beautiful like outlook, like the scene. It looked like a painting, like the mountains and the hills. I was like, wow, man, that house must be a very pricey house just because of the view. It had beautiful views. I mean, if I was to buy a house like that, I would have to get a house with a view, like with overlooking mountains or overlooking a valley. But like, I'd rather have the mountains and the hills, and just to show its snow and beautifulness. Oh my God. Very nice. But I'm going to be wrapping it up. I am tired. I am done for the night. And stay tuned. I'm going to be showing you guys the video of how it is outside right now here in my place. So I'm going to wrap it up. So thank you for watching. I truly appreciate it so much. And you guys have a good morning, good afternoon, and a good night. And I'll catch you on the flip side. And definitely be back on here tomorrow. Hopefully, it's the Saturday. I usually take Saturday off, but I think I'm going to come on in the morning because I got to wake up early in the morning and I got to, and I'm actually going to pick myself up some coffee tomorrow because I feel like I want coffee tomorrow morning. So I don't know if I'll do like a wake and bake. I haven't done those in a while. Those are cool. All right, I'll try to figure it out. I'll see tonight how I wake up and how it is. And our super here, he's already working on the snow. We have a great maintenance team here. And the fact that they're already starting to clean up and they're gonna start plowing the snow in a bit. That's very good. It's very comforting and it makes it easier to get out of here in the morning. So, all right, guys, have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.